eating the dog. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the dog. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat.
Can put our differences aside, and I offer my extension to prayer, and I pray now. Hamni nini hamnya, hamni nini hamnya, hamni nini hamnya, hamni nini hamnya. All right.
Yes. Yes. Welcome, guys. Welcome here to another stream, another live stream here on the Chaos Rain Show. It's been a while. I am Chaos Rain here. Not sure you guys missed me, but And I did post some of a particular, video live show I want to do. I'll put that to the side for now. But this one right here, we had to look at and have a discussion. A real discussion, hopefully, for those that will catch this broadcast and those who will feel me. But before we begin, I'd like to thank for those that subscribe. I think I need like 700 more subscribers to make 2,000. And this is going to be like when I first started doing this, a very, very slow growing channel. Would I want this channel to grow a little much more further? It would be better. That would be the goal, roughly. But how I do the content here on the Chaos Rain Show, it's going to be an up and down. Not to mention YouTube with their crap, but it is what it is. We gotta continue on putting out the content. So the links to follow me are the above. You can follow me on Twitter at ChaosRain7. You can add me a friend on Facebook, Eric Ray on Facebook. You can also join the Discord service as well. Oh, and please, guys, follow me on Rumble. I will post some content on Rumble soon. Right now, I'm trying to manage my time as best as possible, and I got so much stuff. I'm going to try to get as much freedom as possible. And one other thing, a disclaimer with Puff Daddy. As y'all know, I've done a video on the membership version of Puff Daddy, and I most likely might do another one. Just to, my own take on the situation with Puff Daddy. And the reason why that is because, let's be honest, everybody could cover the same topic all day, every day, and we're going to get the same talking points. But really, truly, I'm going to tell you what it really is. And it's not going to be pretty nice, personally, when you hear it from my mouth, personally. But other than that, that's pretty much it. And I'm just checking my notifications right now, make sure everything's going good. Yeah, it looks like everything's good. Then remove some things. Okay, got give some space for the studio. All right, guys. As you know, the one they call Pink Pill was a host to a particular group called the Whatever podcast. Yeah. And it's very intriguing that, the men have asked her some very crucial questions that really, if you're not careful, guys, these women don't have the right to really define what a man is, much less the status of a man. What's this? Oh, okay. I was saying messages, but anyhow, no further ado. I'm not caught up the time because this is going to be probably lengthy. I'm going to try to get as much through as the video as possible, but I don't guarantee that I'm going to go for all of it. And I'm not going for all of it because it's too much content. And as you know, I got the notification. So, we're live. So let's begin, guys. And let me put the bear. Oh, and please, guys, support the channel if you can, whatever. The goal, like always, is we try and reach $50. It's the bare minimum. And normally, most things could go more than that, but usually we start off as something that is manageable. So with your support, rather the Cash App or the Super Chat, your contribution really matters. And I see Great Pill. All right, so let's begin. Fair use. And, let's enjoy this.
No idea what's going on with the Stream Labs messages. Kill of Serial, I'm still trying to fix.
Now, one thing I would like to mention, because I know one particular Black woman have issue with what these gentlemen are doing on their own podcast. From, I guess they have a toy doll. I think that's what do they call those things? Yeah, it's one of them dolls. Those dolls that people play with themselves. Yeah. They have some very intriguing topics and insight of not only masculine, but really keeping it real with the ladies, and they don't play around. These gentlemen on that runs this podcast. As you know, you see a plethora of women. Some of them married, some not married. Some could be OnlyFans models or actually OnlyFans porn chicks, and some are, have good backgrounds in regards to education. At the end of the day, they're here to have the discussion between man and woman, and not only resolve the issues, but let's be honest. Let's talk about real things that matter, and that is things that bother a lot of people, and that is understand man and woman. So no further ado, let's hear the disagreement. And I'm going fast forward here, time, so I'm going to skip some things, but it's all good. Let's go. Let's get it. Fair use.
Not sure what's going on here. So I think, why don't we do this? Does anybody here? There's a lot of pre-show notes, by the way. I'm going to try my best to get through all of them, but there's a lot. And I know some of you included some disagreements in your pre-show notes, but perhaps some of you who didn't include any in your pre-show notes or want to raise them now. Any disagreements that anybody has, either with maybe you've seen something Jake said or something I've said that you'd like to touch on, we can start there.
I like to address the disagreements as they happen personally. I can't really think about things.
Okay, anybody else?
Yeah.
What you got?
Hand teacher. I just met you, so
Jake.
Jake. I would say the majority of the shows that I've seen has been with you and Andrew Bryan, and I have to say that there's a lot wrong with what's going on with women, but you guys tilt really hard towards it being like the women being the primary catalyst for the issues that are going on in the dating world, when it's really both. Like, there's really
before I say something, I'll let her finish. And this is Crystal, as y'all know, the one in green, the pink pill herself, the one that wrote the book Swirling. Fair use.
a lot of things that are going wrong with both genders, and like just blaming, pointing fingers, it's just boring, like, let's just figure it out.
Before he answers, yes, we could say that men, there is certain fault to men, and I would say only fault what men have today is they allowed to go this far unchecked, unnoticed. Personally, now, that's the only thing I would say that's the fault of men. A lot of us men, we allow too much women with too much disrespect, off, all types of behaviors that is really not respectful and really should have been checked a long time ago, that too many men allow. So by default, that's the only thing that, if I say we have to hold accountable, is we allowed this behavior from a lot of you ladies. And that's something we should have checked a long time ago. And I think when it comes to black men, we don't do that enough because of the social conditioning psychologically. They have done a number on a lot of young black men that become men to be very simps, coddle, and to be pretty much effeminized. That's why you ladies go around and move and do what you do today without any pushback, without any avail. You go out there, have a lot of reckless, casual intercourse with not only men in our group, but other men. You also talk back in disrespect to men of your group, black men especially, and you will go as far as, put hands with the men in your group, black men especially. And black men have not made the constitution to say enough is enough. So that's the fault. I would say we will fall under the blame primarily. Now, there's some men that will check you, but is that a lot of black men today? No. So if you think coming on here and always chastise saying that it's an even exchange, unfortunately, it's not really that. But anyhow, let's continue. Fair use.
You want to take this?
Yeah, sure. I mean, well, I don't think I actually say that. Like, I don't actually say it's mostly women's fault when it comes to the whole, just the fuckery of the dating landscape. Although it probably is. So I'm prepared to actually have the conversation.
What makes you think that they say that it's mostly women? What gives you that impression?
Well, because the majority of the panelists, the majority of the panelists are women, and admittedly, some are very unfortunate in their thought processes, but I don't see men at this table who are also dumb and make dumb choices. It seems to just be like primarily the women.
What do you think are some of the dumb choices that men make? What are some of those things you're talking about?
Oh, there's so many.
Yeah, there's so many. So name a few, Crystal. Name one or two.
Well, I would say, for one, doom scrolling Instagram for what they think the woman that they want, listening to old people tell them that relationships and marriage aren't worth it, spending too much time on devices, no social skills, not being able to communicate, read body language, actually interact, and I think certain antiquated ideas about how this whole thing works.
Now, it's interesting she mentioned body language. Most people don't read much anything but the language that comes out your goddamn mouth. We are not psychics. We don't sit to look at your head to toe, say you're giving a certain demeanor, a certain allure, or whatever, and say, look like you got a bad mood. Look like you about to cuss me out. Look like you about to fight me. No, it don't work like that. Usually we see when you do the actions physically before we do something. We're not going to sit there, talk to you, and then look at you, and then always contemplate in our head, yeah, she's giving off some bad aura. She's like she's about to run me down the gauntlet. It's like she's about to do something to me. It's like she's about to take my money. Men don't think like that. We're more the logical side of things. We go by what we see and we react. And normally most women with their reactions is giving the outcomes that they deserve. Now, in regards to the social part of the scenario of what we're lacking, I think both, and I'm be honest with both, we're not socially astute. It depends on what generation you are. And the reason why I say it, because a good portion of us are more adulterated through technology, through the phone, the smartphone, and some phones smarter than us. We're more accustomed to that than anything else, for those that don't know. All right, let's keep going. Fairies.
With couples, like I think that there's a lot of, I don't know, on both sides, there's just some really outrageous expectations that I think
So just
we need
quickly,
to bring down to
with
the
the first
reality.
few, you've got doom scrolling, you've got unable to communicate, read body language, these sorts of things. When do the people on this show espouse those sorts of behaviors that they're correct?
No, I'm not. That's not what you asked me. You asked me what are some of the problems the men are having.
Yeah, but I'm making a bigger point. You said that they're primarily blaming women, which
No.
would mean that they're enabling the bad behavior of men. At which point have they enabled bad behavior of men or encouraged it?
It's more.
But to the gentleman that asked her the question, you're not gonna get a real correct answer from the likelihood of Miss Pink Pill or any woman, because in their mind, you as a man, you should be sucking up, you should be taking it. Not tonight. So you're not gonna find that. You're damn sure you're gonna find it. Hold on. You're more want a comfortable environment or space where you could continue move on with your bullish. And most men, let's be honest, they're not gonna sit there and then hold any man accountable to the point where they're gonna allow these certain gentlemen on their circle. The men that's in the circle that you complain about are the ones for two things: entertainment, purpose, and purpose only. Most men that have real structural systems intact with their cliques, they're gonna hold themselves accountable. If not, the threat of violence is gonna come soon, or they're not gonna be friends. They're gonna probably kick the dudes out, because that's the only thing a man's gonna respond. Right? We're gonna fist it out, or we're gonna talk it out. It's one way or the other. To be honest with you, I believe it might be. It might be. But let's keep going. Various.
More of like an example, like exemplary. So it's implied. So there's things that are actually.
And make sure y'all guys share the stream. Oh, and please, if you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe now and participate in the chat room for any questions. If not, if it's something that you want to play out or you want me to recognize, the super chat will be better. But let's keep going. Various.
Actually said, and then there's things that are implied. So when the men come on, it seems to be that they're going after the women. I haven't really seen them go after men with the same energy, except for there was like 2 guys who were in the porn industry, and they kind of ripped them.
That would be a good example.
Yeah. So, but for the most part, it's mainly the women and directing what men think is wrong with
Do you
women.
think maybe it's because with the women they invite a broader cross-section of the population of women, so they get all different perspectives, whereas the men tend to, generally speaking, think a reasonably similar way? If you get like a guy like myself, Andrew Wilson, Charlie Kirk, guys like this, we all have a reasonable, with a lot of disagreements, we have a reasonably similar worldview, whereas with the girls there's a lot more to pick apart because you guys are all so different. There's like 10 of you. So you think there's just more subject matter there?
I don't know. I never thought about that.
Yeah, because, I mean, there are a lot of issues with guys and girls. I think with guys, one of the...
Because you don't think, Miss Pink Pill, like most women today, they only function and move in the world, not above or beyond the world, but the world as it stands through their goddamn feelings. And we all know if you had to move by your feelings, you're not too logical in your actions. Imagine this. We have a woman that's running for office right now that did not went through the rigmaroles. She was thrown in position to be the next president of the United States, the highest seat in office, right? She did not go for new primaries. She did not get voted into it. As a primary, she was put in. And like always, if you hear her background in regards to answering simple questions, she always goes back and repeats about her so-called middle-class upbringing, but not resolving or answering the goddamn question. Let that sink in. So if you go by your feelings, you lack logic, and that's not gonna go well when you're amongst other groups of men, because this still is run by men. Don't be fooled, ladies. This is a man's world, unfortunately. Let's keep going. Various.
Biggest issues is porn, overconsumption of internet porn, and like you said, doom scrolling, lack of motivation, ambition. But there's a lot of societal factors that encourage this. There's also a lot with women, but I think it's just brought to the forefront more because there's so many of you.
So you're saying that like more men are suffering from these things, so it's like pretty much the same. But wouldn't it be kind of interesting and good if more men would come to podcasts like this and express what their frustrations
generally
to an actual
speaking,
woman?
men in their own social circles like hash these things out with each other. There's not really much of a need for it because the world tells us these sorts of things. If Brian was doing something absurd, I'd just tell him, hey Brian, you're doing something crazy. But generally with women, I think you guys tend to be much less accountable to each other and to yourselves. Like we see women who will say, I'm a 10, I'm a 10, I'm a 10, I'm the best thing since sliced bread. But with guys, we just don't act like that because we really can't afford to, or else the world would just punch us in the face.
So men are conditioned to not have confidence?
That's not confidence, that's delusion. If it's false, what you're saying, then it's delusion.
Okay.
It's a bit different because like guys, like my closest friends are my 2 brothers, and the level of comparison.
See, one thing she did not understand, and remember, black men been saying this to a lot of black women now with these podcasts. And let's be clear about the podcast issue or the podcast dilemma that these women be saying off their dumb mouths about social media, that they have a problem with men in podcasting. Kevin said this on one of his old videos, long time ago, maybe a year ago too. He said that he wished there were more men like him with these type of outcomes in podcasting. Sorry, podcasts. Now, let me like him, it doesn't have to be specifically like Kevin, as we see him. It would be nice, but not like that. But podcasts that's pushing the same message and narrative. These are the same men that are really giving you the real, honest truth and actually showing you real male nature. For the ladies that don't understand, this is close you're going to get to real male nature, ladies. How men operate, think, and what they really feel and what their desires, roughly. You hear the complaints constantly, and you try to go against that because of your good nature, because you feel men should be here to serve you and only you, especially when it comes to Black women. And really, a lot of men have been spoken and telling us they're not put here to serve you. I hope that didn't go through a lot of ladies' head. But let the man answer the questions so you get more clarity. Fair use.
Competitiveness that we have with each other is, you guys would probably cry if you heard some of the conversations that we had with each other, because it's just so honest and accountable. So I can't really get away with it.
I have 2 older brothers. And
Yeah.
even though I am a woman, I do understand.
Yeah, 100%. But there's certain, and also just in, this is something that Jordan Peterson says a lot, if you guys ever listen to him, that men tend to operate within a structure where there's physical consequences if it gets to a certain point. So if I say something to a guy, it can escalate to a point where there's going to be physical consequences. So generally we tend to regulate our relationships, which regulates ourselves and our level of delusion and how rude we can be, etc. But women, unfortunately, don't really have the same thing. So it's interesting when the opinions are expressed.
I have a question, like going back on it, maybe. I feel like there's a bunch of ways you can interpret, like rate yourself 1 out of 10. I feel like there's many ways you can interpret it. And, there's a way, what do you think, like walking down the street, like what would you view me as versus like what do I see myself as? Because I would rate myself like higher because I have confidence within myself to dress how I want. I'm growing with my career. Like I do those things. So I view myself as like I'm expressing how I'd like to. But maybe you can interpret the question of like, because I don't think that's delusion, like expressing yourself how you want and all of those things and viewing that as like a 10. But let's say...
I think that the definition of delusion is if you view yourself in a way that's not compatible with how the rest of the world sees you.
Well,
because we have to regulate in society what is real and what isn't. And then when somebody sees themselves as a 10 and in societally, objectively speaking, there may be a 6 or a 7 or somewhere probably in the middle of the bell curve, then that would be delusion. Now, there's nothing wrong.
Well, I go in further. Majority all Western women, and we could say only Western women alone, because that's where we live, this is where we at. Majority of them think and operate and feel that they're all 10s. Let that sink in. They think and feel that they're all 10s. Nothing less than 10. If they take a lower score, they look at themselves as lesser than, and when they think of themselves as a lesser person, woman, or being, they think they're not worthy of any respectfulness or anything of desire for the opposite sex. All right. And really, truly, most majority of women are not always 10s. They are roughly, if I gotta be honest, 7 at best. And we can maybe push 8, but normally it's roughly 7. And 7 is actually a decent number for those that don't know. All right. I'm just looking at some right now, guys. Make sure you guys hit the like button because I'm just checking some things right now. All right. Let's keep going. Fair use.
With having self-confidence and self-respect. That's a fantastic thing, and having intrinsic dignity. But I think that if you are actually a confident person, then you're confident enough to say that, I'm a 6 or a 7, or I'm not the best thing ever. Because a 10 is a remarkable feat. If you ever see a 10, you look 3 times.
Correct. I could see that.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously everyone has different types and all of these things that could contribute to you know, I might be like, that person's a 10, and you might be like, that person I wouldn't even say hi to, you know, and obviously those things. And
there's definitely subjective interpretations, and you know,
it's a very hard question.
I might like Eastern European girls, and another guy might like Latin girls. We might see them very different, but generally speaking, when we're looking at rating ourselves, it's on a global sort of scale. Like, and we can get a reasonably accurate estimate of where we think we are.
I could see that.
But also, this is just another thing as to why it's more interesting when girls flesh out their proper worldviews, is because you guys get a lot more male attention. Like, if you're a pretty girl and you have an Instagram and you post some nice photos, you're going to get a lot of attention from guys.
Of course.
But us, I mean, I've got a big YouTube channel that's like nearly 700,000 subscribers. I only ever get men who inbox me, you know, guys who say, I like what you do. So, we don't have this constant flattery where we're, oh my God,
I don't disagree with you on any of that. I mean, the men viewing your stuff, you know, like, you probably, I haven't seen you, I'm sorry, but you probably go on as like a male role model to these men, you know, like women, in my opinion, like role models, like I want to look at women as my role models. Like, I can respect a man and his opinion, and like I do all the time. I'm like, I watch male YouTubers, love Ben Shapiro, love Brett Cooper, and I look up to both, but you know, that's probably.
I don't know if I miss anything. Yeah, they babbling right now. Let me see if I can fast forward this. Hold on. All right, that's good. All right, that's good. We're gonna keep playing. Various ways.
It's like something that's heavily discouraged on this show is going to OnlyFans pages, paying for that sort of thing, and giving unrequited attention to women. But yeah, go on.
Yeah. So I wanted to say that you might personally not have a lot of women coming to your Instagram page because of your platform and what it is that you're shooting for. But look at all these muscle guys who are like advertising how they can do 100 pull-ups and, you know, 60,000 squats. You see all the girls, hey, baby, hey. Like, they get so much attention.
Talking to the mic.
They get so much attention. I mean, it's to say that men don't ever get that kind of attention.
Do you think
is
if we put
a little bit of a
it
stretch.
on a linear scale like this, and we showed all of the most attractive women, we'll say the top 5% of women, compared to the 5% most attractive men, do you think that there'd be an imbalance in who gets more attention?
You know what? These days, I would have to say no. I'd say maybe 1 or 2% skewed more to the women, but I'd say it'd be pretty even.
I'd say that the top 5% of women would just get a constant influx of absolute just simping diarrhea going their way.
The men get
all
that
day,
too.
every day.
Throwing
of guys.
panties left and right.
You're talking
maybe if
about
you're
No, that's actually false. Men generally don't get draws thrown at them in stage. The men that do get that are the rare ones, and usually the ones that are able to get random women to take off their hopefully clean panties and throw on stage. They're the ones that have tickled the subconscious inner thought of a lady in regards to the voice, the sweet voice, singing sweet melodies to the subconscious and inner head and lower head of a woman. Those are the exceptional gentlemen. But generally, most women are not going to be so eager to be throwing draws on the stage for men. So it's not the same. And she knows that. Various.
You're like a rock star in the 1970s, but
you don't even have to be the top 5%. I know this. And you get a lot of attention all the time.
I would say that the amount of attention that a pretty girl gets on Instagram you could liken that maybe to Elvis Presley in his prime, with the kind of attention that he would get, because it was global. You had lots of different women from all around the world every time. I don't think everyone ever sees, but you know, lots of different women all around the world. But with girls, some of these girls have hundreds of thousands, millions of followers, and it's global. They've got this fan base. Like the Buddha never had this sort of a cult following, or any of these historical figures. Gandhi never had this much of a following.
Are you kidding me? What about Prison Bay? Remember Prison Bay?
What's Prison Bay? That might be a bit beyond my time.
Oh, God. Prison Bay was literally a guy who was in prison, but took a mugshot, very good looking.
I think
He exploded. Now he is an international model, and he's dating.
You know, it's ironic that Miss Pink Pill will bring up Prison Bae. And if I remember correctly, I think Prison Bae, I don't know if he's mixed, but he's a man that is mostly look more Eurocentric in the eyes and stuff. And it's ironic you would mention that because he is what they call you ladies like to what they call male gaze at. And not only male gaze at this gentleman, but this man is doing time in jail. And it goes to the notion that a good portion of Black women, when they try to find mates or they say they asking for good men, you know what the first thing that comes out their goddamn mind? A man in jail. Like, really, when you said prison, the first thing that come to mind when you said about Prison Bae, and I'm sorry, I gotta go there. That was Kevin. Listen. That right there, that is a bad example.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up. God damn it! You can't make this shit up.
Yeah, we know your head's at, sweetie. Anyhow, various.
An heiress. So
He's dating who? Who's he dating?
some heiress. So the last I checked, I mean, he left his family. Apparently, he was married at the time, so he left his wife and kids because the internet and the whole world told him that he was fine, and so he decided to live his dream. And
Can I just say, just quick little show of hands, does anybody here agree that the top 5% of men would get the same amount of attention as the top 5% of women?
Not at all.
Not at all.
No.
You think that they would?
Yes,
The top 5% of like good-looking men on the internet?
for sure.
Do you think they'd get the same amount of inboxes and they'd get the same amount of like just unrequited attention from random girls?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty delusional, if I'm honest.
I think that
Very
they get
delusional.
the same amount of attention. Like if I'm telling a friend, like, oh my God, Justin Bieber, you know what I mean? But I'm not sliding into Justin Bieber's DMs. Like I don't, you know what I mean? So I think like
I think it's pretty
secretly.
it's pretty.
Listen, you had to slide in his DMs. You're gonna shoot your shot, ladies. If these men are jumping from, what's it, 20%, 50%, 10%, and go as far as low as 5% of men, top tier men of the earning aspect, and they got clout, like, you know, people know them, recognize them, you're gonna be in their inbox. Listen. If a woman wants the outcomes and you're able to hit up or get access to these men that are up that top percent, you're gonna be shooting your shot. It is a requirement. You're not escaping that, no doubt. You might not say you do it, but every other woman will, because everyone wants a Birkin bag. And trust me, these men will supply them the bag. Anyhow, phrase.
Quantifiable though, because if you just look at OnlyFans, who are the top 5% of creators? Who are the top 50%? You struggle to find a guy, maybe a few male
I
porn
think it's
stars.
also like socially predictable that men always look and scroll and comment, where like when you go on to even like a better looking guy's page and you scroll through comments, it's almost like cringy when women.
It is.
Yeah.
It's
It
not
is.
really
It's a
socially
different
accepted.
social acceptance.
Yeah, because
for sure.
Yeah.
because men are hunters, so like they're always the ones going after women, whereas like when a woman does it, it's very like distasteful.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably the best point that could be made in regard to this is that women do it behind closed doors. They talk with their girlfriends,
Right.
oh, this guy's so hot. this-
Or
this- but it's-
directly like to the man, but not publicly.
Yeah,
like if
right.
if you're talking to somebody, then you'll like tell them they're handsome or
Yeah.
you know whatever, but you're not going to do it publicly.
I actually think the percentage would be not even close,
Yeah, I would say so too.
honestly.
I approach people publicly all the time, like on Instagram.
But you're one out of how many women?
That's why it's not an even.
Of course you're gonna find interesting about this lady right here. If you don't want to do it, that tells you something. That says something. But wait, there's more. It's coming. If we get to, you'll understand, guys. But anyway, fairies.
Score, she's saying.
Wait, so I do want to come back to what you're saying. And I'm no idea what's going on with the TTS not working. So I apologize, guys. We'll try to get it figured out. So your argument was what, essentially? You're saying that men and women, when it comes to their difficulty interacting with the opposite sex, is about equivalent, or what was your argument?
No. He was talking about in terms of like attention and attraction on Instagram. He was asking me if he thought that the attention that the women got was equal to the men. And I'd say that with the women, maybe there's a few percentage more, but pretty much it's half and half.
I think he said that in response to an
so
original.
the-
I think that he said that in response to an original point you made. What was your original point? I'd like to address it.
Oh,
The original
it's been
critique
too
was
long.
that
What
she
was
thinks that we, like the podcast tends to skew more towards
No.
blaming women for the dating problems.
No. So you were making another argument, essentially kind of saying dating is about easy. It's like easier for men, or what was it?
No, I didn't say that.
Can I add something to it?
No. I want to get back
I
to
think
her
the question.
conversation.
I think what her argument was saying how men have issues too. Like at the beginning, she was giving examples of what men do wrong in relationships, and she's also expressing that you guys kind of
Okay, I think, please just allow me to get this through. So I think you were saying something along the lines of the men get about equivalent romantic and sexual attention that women get.
I was talking specifically about Instagram, though.
Are you sure?
Yes.
No,
It was before
broader.
that.
I used Instagram as an example.
I'm pretty sure Jake was using that in response to something you said. So just what's your actual position?
Yeah,
that
my actual-
men and women receive about equivalent sexual and romantic attention?
No, absolutely not.
Am
That's not
I
my
being
position.
gaslit here, chat?
No.
Can somebody in the chat
So-
please tell me what you said?
Earlier, she was saying that they're essentially, not that men aren't being held accountable, but because it's mostly women here, y'all address the issues with women, but we don't hear so much the other side of it. And I wanted to interject and say a lot of people say the 70% of divorces are initiated by women. But
This is like babble. You're never gonna find a whole bunch of men gonna sit there on a podcast where you ladies are the consumers. Like literally talking about the accountability piece. I mean, if you want accountability, go watch TV. And really, a lot of women don't want to hear accountability because they feel they don't deserve accountability. Let's be honest. So, to sit there, keep reiterating why the men should be holding the so-called 7 men accountable. The men already explain it, and this is why a lot of women don't really listen well. But anyway, let's keep going. Fairies.
But when you take out certain statistics, and I think this is probably where you were going along with this, if you take out abuse, if you take out infidelity, the 70% isn't exactly 70-30. It changes.
But women also initiate the abuse too. Whether it's they take their hands and try to physically strike the dude for a reason, or verbal abuse, which goes much further. Because man verbals doesn't really have the same weight, unfortunately. Now I think about it. It takes a lot for a man to really go out of his way to really verbally and physically abuse Western women today. You gotta do something to a man to really take him out of his character to go about doing so. Now, regardless of cheating, infidelity, you ladies doing it now, even now, and I would say even more higher rate now because let's be honest, most dudes are not gonna be checking on their lady or be strict saying and always ask these dumb questions that who you talking to, who you sleeping. There are some, but there's not a lot. And even the dudes really try to check you on it, they're never gonna know. Because most men, if they're really out in that world, don't invest too much time to really focus what their woman doing when they're not in the presence of her. Or in the presence of them. Either or, let's keep going. Fairies.
Depends what you mean by abuse, though, because if you look at what the Psychological Association says about abuse, it's like it can be things like gaslighting. So Brian could divorce me if we were gaslighting him about the chat or anything like that. There's a bunch of different things. Emotional abuse is a big umbrella term.
But even if you took that 23% and you just like cut that in half, because it was like 23% was because of abuse, cut that in half because or even a third because like you said, you can say abuse is whatever. It still changes the statistics a little bit. So I think it's a little exaggerated, and I think it kind of honestly panders to men who don't want to take accountability. I think accountability is an issue like across the board, more so with women, but there's also a lot of men who also lack accountability.
Well, I mean, the statistics would still be far in favour of women breaking up the families and breaking up divorces. But I mean, it also blows out to like 90% when you look at college-educated women.
Yeah, the higher education level, yeah.
It's much higher. So I think that statistic in itself says a lot about the dynamics in a marriage and what works and what doesn't.
Indoctrination in the
In the
education
university
system. Yep.
And also in terms of hypergamy, because college-educated women who earn a lot of money and have very successful careers are much more likely to look elsewhere if they feel the man isn't above them. If they feel the man is below or equal, much more likely to look elsewhere.
I think men tend to need I don't think this is controversial, men need a father figure. And I think that men tend to look up to people, and men that look up to you, like I like some of the views, like I could kind of get an understanding when you relate it to like maybe Charlie Kirk or something. And then men tend to copy like people that they like. So men online might see that person. Like there's a percentage of men that look up to you, kind of follow your sort of guidelines when it comes to dating. And then there's the men that see other guys like treating women horribly and all of those things. So that could play a factor also in like
society. So it's why it can be very chaotic at times.
Well, the good news is that divorce is actually down 18%.
Since?
They did a study, the census did one, it was way back in 2016. It came up on my feed. It said red pill was wrong about divorce. And so it was a whole...
It doesn't...
What do you mean red pill is wrong with divorce? Divorce, as it still state, if the man's not divorce you, then the higher percentage it is you walking out, ending these relationships, and even go as far as the marriage. And the reason why that is because most dudes, let's be honest, this weird notion that it's cheaper to keep her. I don't like the notion that you should be keeping somebody around because you don't want to spend the money. If this person is a hindrance and pretty much a plague in your progression as a man, what you're trying to accomplish, it would make better sense to sign your papers and give little trinkets here and there and keep pushing. You should not be staying in no situation that does not really benefit you in your long-term, not agendas, but your long-term goals, or what you're trying to see where you and your wife are going in the next couple of years. If she's not part of that vision and she's doing everything possible to come what you're trying to do or you say you're going to do, it's better off you just cut ties and keep pushing. So I don't agree about this thing about red pill is wrong. Red pill was on point, and we can go as far as it could be as far as black pill. Anyhow, fair use.
Don't control it all.
No, but then I double checked because they did attach a link to the census, and so I was able to look at the report myself. And divorces are down, and get this, it's because millennials saw their Gen X boomer parents getting divorced all over the place, and they said they didn't want to do that. Yes, there are less marriages.
I'd be very interested to see the
happening.
numbers of this, because I think that what you're probably talking about, I would hesitate to guess, but I'm going to guess anyway, is that you're talking about new marriages on a shorter time scale, and it's not over the lifespan.
Yes, we're talking about
of a
new marriage, and they're saying that these millennial marriages are lasting beyond 5 years.
Millennials are only like 31.
Yeah. No, millennials starts at 1980.
38, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, millennials starts at 1980.
Yeah. So
divorces could be down though because less people are getting married. Is it like based on a percentage of you take 10 people?
Yeah.
Like that's a big factor too. Less people get married, obviously less people.
Oh, and a side note for correction, millennials start around roughly 79, actually, not 1980, but we're not keeping count. And it ends around 1994. So the last of the millennials just turned 30 this year. Let that all sink in, gentlemen. Fair use.
getting divorced.
And who's to say they're not going to get divorced in the next few years?
Yeah,
Divorces
I
tend
was
to
gonna
happen.
say, aren't we comparing it to studies with like much more longevity than what we're talking about now? We're talking about just 5 years in comparison to studies of like 30 plus years.
Exactly.
A consensus from 2016 is almost a decade. So I don't really know how relevant that is to now, because I'm pretty sure that during COVID, we had the highest spike of divorces, and that was only 3 years ago. So I don't really know how accurate that is. So
Actually,
I would-
marriages went up during COVID.
Yo,
Can you ask the chat if they are hearing this?
I don't think I can see the chat. Can I?
No, but can you just ask them?
Hey, chat, can you guys hear the TTS?
Can you guys, because they might hear it, but maybe we're not.
Brian wants to know if the chat can hear the TTS. He's reading it now.
They like, hey, this is
Not equal, because
Yeah.
women are usually I worked in treatment, like rehabs and treatments, and a lot of the percentage of people have
Young women, it used to be anorexia, but now it's transgenderism. Have you guys seen a shift?
Definitely.
and like one single time.
Did anybody
Not
hear
one.
the
Internet.
All right, I think this is the part, guys.
entire debate?
He
But
also
the-
stayed.
But the thing is that the bar is so high for him, and the bar is so low for Kamala Harris, that she can get away with not actually saying anything the whole entire debate. She didn't say anything that was really like a
substance.
substantive sort of policy position. It was all a little bit.
Very biased.
Let me pause this. We gotta do commercial.
I want my money.
I told you.
Where is my money?
Vanny, bring me everyone.
I need my money. I need my money.
What do you mean everyone?
All right, support the channel. Make sure you hit either the Cash App or Super Chat to the Chaos Reign Show. As you know, I'm trying to fast forward because I don't want to run it as is in run speed because that's too long. It's going to get to the point where they mentioned about Kevin Samuels and high value. And that's the one that would be the more intriguing part of this conversation. And at least to the tail was the so-called pink pill right about, Kevin. And his description of high value, which we already know he already gave a deep description about this constantly. And you're going to hear the gaslighting it too. So let's keep listening.
This is a big thing. Trump, when he was like, quote, failing, like, you had people like fact checking him. Kamala wasn't fact checked one single time.
Did anybody
Not
here
once.
at the table think that Kamala won the debate?
I don't think she won, but I do think that she got under his skin enough where he was very defensive.
He took the bait on the rallies.
Yes.
I also do believe that she grabbed all the I'm only a debate watcher voters because a lot of people don't do their research as much as, maybe you or I or whoever does. A lot of people don't. They wait for the debate. They say who spoke better. But in all reality, everything she was saying, to me, it was like she was reading a book. It wasn't, where have you been the last 3.5 years?
How about you, political science? What did you think about the debate?
I didn't watch the debate, but I like Kamala, and
Yeah?
I feel like an odd one out.
Yeah, no, that's all right. What do you like about her?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think she's well spoken, and I think she's like personable. And to me, I think I also have like a familiarity bias. She kind of reminds me of like Obama's charm.
Is there something that turned you on to her since she's been in office that, was remarkable or something that you think that, is one of your main reasons beyond, what you had just shared?
I'm not like pro-abortion for myself, but I like that she would give people the opportunity. I just think
Why are you not pro-abortion for yourself?
because I wouldn't get one, but like I
Why
think
not?
people should have the right to choose.
Why not?
I just think it would be like very traumatic and like not the right decision for myself. But
Why-
I don't
why
want
would
to
it be
push
traumatic?
that on other people. I don't want metal parts all up in my genital area.
So for you, the abortion is more about the metal parts and how it would hurt you rather than the baby that's inside
I think
you?
that too. Like I
Murdering
wouldn't
a
want a
child.
baby killed either.
Yeah. Why would you, so you, obviously you agree that it is a baby, it's a child in the womb. Just I'm curious, if you wouldn't do it and if you see the moral danger in abortion, then why would you think that it's
described specifically? It was described as a financial marker and
Do you really
also
think
like
so?
your
You think
network.
Kevin
That
All right,
too,
here's the
I
part with
wouldn't
Kevin
want a
Samuels.
baby
All right.
killed either.
Yeah. Why would you, if so you, obviously you agree that it is a baby, it's a child in the womb. Just, I'm curious, if you wouldn't do it and if you see the moral danger in abortion, then why would you think that it's okay for other people to do it?
I think that there are certain circumstances that it might be necessary, and like if it's life-threatening for a woman to give birth.
What about if it's a financial issue?
That too. I mean, if you don't want to like give birth to a kid and you're going to put it in poverty, but also like maybe just give it up for adoption instead of killing it would be a better alternative.
Life-threatening doesn't actually fall really under the category of abortion.
100%.
I feel like anybody you ask who is for Kamala, the first thing that is always brought up is the abortion stance, and that is the only thing I've heard from Kamala
And she's a
voters.
woman.
Yeah.
And
Which
she's
would
black,
be the
right?
reason.
Yeah. And she's not Donald Trump. That's the other one.
I'm curious though, to get
Better
back
than
brat,
Donald.
too.
That's what people
to
think.
the criticism.
Black and other things.
Just
not black.
just to tie a knot on this one, I feel like the
Jamaican.
pink pill. You've got a bit of a YouTube channel going on. You've got maybe it seems like it's adjacent to the red pill, or is it?
No.
All right. Now here's the part with Kevin. And I'm sorry, guys, because I found the part of it, but it's hard to scan through it because this is the actual videotape, and I'm probably gonna write down the mark. This right here is now she's gonna go and explain about Kevin, and we all know from the last few years when Kevin had her on. He was respectful to have her back on to have a whole show where they dedicate in regards to helping the so-called ladies how to find themselves a white man. So as we play the mark now, 55-minute mark, timestamp. Let's hear her views on it. Fair use, fair use.
Really opposite to the red pill.
Well, it's adjacent to the red pill only because it became that way. When I first came to the internet, I was one of the few black women that encouraged black women to entertain all of their dating options. I came out with a book called Swirling.
What did you think about Kevin Samuels?
I thought that Kevin Samuels was not great.
Why not?
Not overall, not great. I think that
Yeah, I hear that. The same woman that could probably help her situation even better, so she's promoting it, and she says some truthful things on Kevin's stream, surprisingly. But why black women expectations of what it takes to get a non-black mate, mostly white man? She said on his broadcast, ironically. And now it's saying the man was not great, not good. Ain't that something? Let's listen more to this bullshit. Fair use, fair use.
he deluded a lot of men into thinking that they were high value. I don't think that high value was actually described specifically. It was described as a financial marker. And
Kevin laid out, and these gentlemen watch Kevin's channel. One second, guys. They watch Kevin's channel, and he already explains night in, night out, had a whole broadcast doing the breakdown of it. And money is the top parameter because you can't be of a value and you are actually really broke. You have no money. And I'm not talking about 20 grand or 30 grand a year. Like you just broke. Like you just sit there, you're constantly just always out there, your hand out. You're not even working the 40, the 60. Hell, if you can even do it, the 80-hour work week for every dime you make. So you could take it and better yourself. You're not even doing that. Or some that are able or not able to do that. money is just the one parameter. It's always a good parameter, but it's more to that. But you see, when you hear it from this lady here, this chick right here, she's going by from what her so-called non-accomplished friends tell her what she be doing. And you see the problem she has now. Like really, if you think about it, if you're trying to promote a product, a brand, right, you will need traction from all areas at all costs, including if a black man could help solidify and give more context and really polish what you're doing. Because Kevin is, this is saying he is image consultant. He is a brand of selling things. This is his market. He's good at this. But the likes of Pink Pill does not want to hear or take advice from said black man. Hell, she probably might fight back Mr. Charlie on some advice, because in their mind, black women feel that they got it all covered. They know everything, and they do not. All right, let's keep listening. Fairies.
And
Do you
also,
really think
like
so?
your
You think
network.
Kevin
No,
Samuels
he said
was...
yes. He did. He said a high value man is somebody who makes over $100,000 or more. He has a network, and it has to be like for a few years. He has to have a good network, and he's got to be settled. Like those were the main.
Man, she couldn't. What the fuck is this? She couldn't recite all the. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do y'all one better. Hold on. Let me do this, man. Hold on, guys. And as I do this, I'm gonna find that video. I'm gonna do that right now, and I have to do this. I gotta do this because Kevin has laid out countless, and I might find now. But let me keep playing this. Fair use.
Things. He didn't really talk about character, and there would be a lot of times where he would say, he actually invited me on the show. I've actually I knew him personally just through just through circling the drain with other folks in the space that I'm in, unfortunately, in that part of the
I'm interested
YouTube.
because I used to love watching Kevin Samuels' videos, the way that he would get these black women on the show, and they would be, and he would have these arguments with them, because it's such a different sort of world, the sort of African American culture, because we don't have that in Australia at all. What particularly about it did you feel like he was deluding men about? Because there is an element of having resources that does make a guy high value. I don't really particularly like that term, but I think that if a man develops resources, it is a very positive thing for his perspectives in the dating market.
Yeah, but you're going to have to give me more on that list than just that he makes six figures.
Well, Kevin Samuels was also an image consultant, so he talked about dressing really well and carrying yourself well, having a network of other men, and having purpose and drive. And
so 6 figures, he can wear a nice suit, and he has some friends. That's supposed to be something that I'm supposed to use.
Well, what would you,
if
if you had to say, if you were in his shoes, then what would you encourage?
I would focus more. First of all, what I think. So, if I'm going to be fair, there were a lot of women on the show that came on delusional, but I'm not going to pretend that Kevin Samuels did not feed into the delusions.
That's diverting from the question. The question was, what would you say to men if you had to give them the advice?
All
right. I think I found it. I'm going to see if this will play here. I doubt this will work. I'm going to check my other end right now, because the man has defined it too many times. And too many people are going to keep reference his talking points. And I never saved it because I'm not saying it's importance, but that's something that Kevin defined a long time ago. So this is what I'm going to do. And I got to do this. Or better yet, I don't have to really do that at all. I got some better. 1 second, guys. I'm going to keep playing, and I got some much better. Fair use.
About what
Yeah.
about what a high value man is.
Yeah.
Okay. The first thing I would say is that it starts with your character. The nature of a true man is
Kevin
not
donated $28.
Go on, keep going.
Now listen carefully, and I'm going to wind again, and I'm going to play what he breakdown of high value for those that's listening. Listen carefully, guys. And this is where the dilemma starts.
measure of a true man is not that he is never afraid. It is that he is afraid, or it may be hard, whatever the task, and he'll do it anyway. That is what a man is.
Stoic.
That's someone who has character, someone who has a strong cornerstone of beliefs and values. They are thoughtful. They are respectful of others. They cultivate their leadership skills, but they also know how to follow other people and take instruction from other people. They know how to choose friends. They know how to choose women. They
Okay,
inspire.
so
They
we'll
inspire other men
we'll
to
take
be
it a
better.
little bit slower.
Mhm.
So, a guy who's got character and he's able to. What did you say first of all? You said he's able to get things done, even if he doesn't
Yeah,
he doesn't
what I
always
said-
have to feel like he's not scared. He can.
Yes, the measure of a man is not that he doesn't get scared. It's that he feels the fear and does it anyway.
Okay, cool. What were some of the other ones?
The other ones was that he knows how to choose good friends. He knows how to
friends.
choose
He's
a
got
good
some friends, okay.
woman. He's
Women.
respectful of others. He's
Respectful.
mindful of where he wants to go and direction he wants to go. Now,
And
if we're talking money,
is this the hierarchy? Because at what
Mhm.
point does actually having a career for a guy
I was
coming in?
just about to get to that.
Where does it come in? Is it after those or before those?
No, I think that they should be in conjunction with each other. That's what makes them high value.
Well, I'd
That's what
say-
makes them rare, because it's both. That's what makes the rarity.
I would say that if you are building yourself and developing your resources and a career and these sorts of things, those are the characteristics that tend to come along with that for a guy. So if you have to build something from scratch, then you have to be able to work with people. You can't be like a piece of shit to be around unless you sort of are some Bitcoin millionaire, or unless you're some scam artist or something like
I
that,
would
which is a
argue
hollow way to
That's
live.
not necessary.
All right, this is what I'm going to do, guys. And I do have the videotape. And I'm going to make some space in the studio. I'm going to have to do this. We're going to look at this again, or what Kevin's view of high value.
What is a high value man? Glad you asked. Let's define it. I'm saying a high value man. So your mileage may vary. Your opinion is your opinion. But when I'm talking about it, this is what I'm talking about. So let's get it started. First of all,
Now, what you're seeing here, guys, and it's sad I have to really play this because this is on his channel. And the sad thing about all this, and I'm going to say this, there are too many content creators right now. And this is going to be offensive, but I'm going to have to go there. Because, man, I got to be honest with a lot of people. There are too many content creators that have not built their channels from the ground up, have been using Kevin Samuels' content just to get a following, just to get money, and also just to get their, how can I say it, recognition without being seen. That was the one of the issues I find now since Kevin has been gone for 2 years. Now I find it to be downright diabolical what a lot of these content creators are doing today. But because this is the internet and this is YouTube especially, that there is parameters and rules that we must follow. But that does not apply for any person that doesn't know what they're doing, or they just came out of nowhere and then said, I could have started a channel and just start taking a whole bunch of clips from Kevin and making my own. And to people that is part of Kevin's group that still control his whole YouTube channel, I give him all respects. And you should really come down on a lot of people that are repurposing, repackaging Kevin's shit. Because I find it very disrespectful that they could at least hit up the email, which I think the email still exists, if they could use a good portion of Kevin's content and repackage their own. But a lot of people will not do that, because by doing that, that requires you as the person that creates the content to not do no work. See, Kevin always harp and always advocate that men and women, especially men, that you have to do the work. Work is not going to escape us. So I'm not going to keep rambling. I'm only going to play this because she said some false and stupid stuff, and she was not even coarse and clear of the pinpoints of what is a high value man. She's going by this stupid dumbass rhetoric that, and I mean dumbass rhetoric loosely, that the first thing is character. You black fucking and you ladies don't get about character. Stop it. You're delusional. You're stupid. And you're telling a whole bold-faced lie. Because it was really about character, and let's go there. If it's really about character, why are you not dealing with the men that actually got character, but got not even 2 pennies or nickels to rub against each other? Wait. So let's let Ken break down the high value one more again. Fair use.
Well, let's go over some basic definitions. High, great, greater than normal in quantity, size, or intensity. Value, the regard of something held to deserve, the importance, worth, or usefulness of something. And man, an adult human male. So when you put all that together, what do you have? An adult human male that's greater than normal importance or usefulness to what? The group. Basic economic principle states that the value of something is what a market is willing to pay for it. The value is determined by what? The market. And when we're talking about individuals, the market is other people, men or women. So a high value man is completely determined by the market. Case in point, you can have a vehicle, a home, anything in your possession. You can hold it dear. It could be supremely important to you. But when you put it on the market decides. And there's an upper limit and a lower limit. It doesn't really matter if you think the low is too low or the high is not high enough. That's what the market is willing to pay for it, and that is its overall value. That has been with us forever. So when we start talking about that, we're dealing with people. It really throws people off because it seems so cold, so calculated. But like it or not, that's the way the world is. So let's get into this whole high value man thing. Number one.
So I hope that was clear. The value. The market then decides. Just like when he talking about your sexual market value, ladies, the market decides. And if you are of a certain look, aesthetic, or weight, whatever man you get is what the market is offering, and the men is good either going to buy you or not. And most men today, the way how you carry yourself, they look at majority Western women, unfortunately, as not really of value, to the point where a man's going to really invest it all and risk it all. So now he's going to go into the pinpoints. Fair use.
In order to be a high value man, it starts with money. Again, like it or not, I didn't put the 6-figure thing out there. It's been with us since the mid 80s, and like it or not, that's where this whole thing starts. You can't be high value and homeless, so you have to make a certain amount of money, and the line is roughly at $10,000 a month adjusted for Atlanta dollars. If you live in San Francisco, LA, New York City, where the cost of living is higher than 100%, you need to adjust it. So $10,000 a month gets the starting point off for high value. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just giving you what the world gave me. Number two, that.
So right there, money. And he said, that's just being nice. Hold on a second, guys. What's up? Hello? So saying this, and that's just adjusted. Other states, you might have to make more than 10 grand. roughly. So that's what he means by the money aspect. Anytime you make that, but remember, 10 grand, let's be honest. And I'm not sure what percentage that is a person where that falls. I think that's above 15%, maybe. Could be wrong. Besides adjustment. But let's be fair and honest. 10 grand is just the starting and bare minimum of anything. And really, if you look at the math of 10 grand a month, that's roughly 120K a year. Not to mention after taxes. And you might have taxes, you might bring home maybe 100K, maybe. Which still is some money, but it's not really a lot, depending where you live. At the end of the day, money's money. But that's just the starting point. Just to get your foot in the door. Now let's look at part 2.
Money needs to be made over a length of time, i.e. performance. And that's roughly about 5 years. And about the 3-year mark, you're kind of starting to scratch the surface. Why does it need to be 5 years? Well, because guys, it's a matter of consistency and stability. Look in the NFL, the NBA, anybody can have a great season, but having a great season does not automatically mean you're going to the Hall of Fame. They want to see consistent numbers over a period of time. You know how this works, just like I do in business. You can't be a one-hit wonder or have up here and down there. Consistency, performance over a length of time. That's why that 5-year mark is so important. Like I said, around 3 years, you're starting to scratch the surface, but at 5 years, people can pretty much count on you to say, this person understands and knows how to get it done. Number 3 is group acceptance.
So see, number 2 is how you're able to maintain and even maybe be better or make more after 3 to 5 years. And if you're a business person, we all know most business, especially when we talk about black business in the communities right now as it stands, don't survive 3 years. Mostly you get maybe 2 years, roughly. If you survive the first 3 to 5 years, you're doing something. And maybe you might be making returning investment, possibly, if things are done right. But overall, the time is very important because the longer it is that you're able to make this money and make more over a period of time, shows that you have been dedicated and you put your time, effort, and sacrifice to constant and with luck to make that amount of money and more in the 3 to 5 year span. Now, next one, very important one, group acceptance, because she did talk about the group. Yeah, indeed. All right, listen to the more. Fair use.
Like it or not, guys, High Value Men is like a fraternity. It's like a club, a secret society. And High Value Men know other High Value Men. They're welcoming men to the group. They know what it takes to be there. They know what it takes to get in there. And High Value Men, group acceptance is supremely important. Guys, secret societies, fraternities, organizations have always been with us. And you know how this just works in just general interaction. Guys that just make their own secret society or club, but it doesn't matter as much as somebody says that group is important. Guys, this is about separation. High value men tend to huddle around other high value men for reasons I'm going to go into a little bit later. But group acceptance is another critical component of being a high value man. Why is group?
So that's another thing. Group. And I think she might mention group in this video when she was on the podcast, maybe, but it goes to show, and the gentleman watches Kevin, and he should know it's better than anybody else. It's 6 components: money, group. Money, consistency, the group, and next one he's going to talk about is the network, which is the most essential part. And I think network should be, in my opinion, this is just me, guys, it should be top of the list. And money should be either second. Because really, you really want to have money and make money, you got to know someone to make money. And that's something they don't tell you. Hell, I'll go in further. He mentioned about career. If you're not understanding this, and no, a career, i.e., means job. There are some people that might have went to school and might have did 4 or more years of college, and might be in what they call a career. But is it something that you could pass down? Absolutely fucking not. But if you're an entrepreneur and you're getting it and establishing some business here and there that work and fail, you might pass down and have some. But most Western people, Americans, we're more thinking of the career and saying we're gonna have and own something that is our own. And it all at the end of it deals with mindset, really, to really thinking on it. But when you're thinking of a worker, employee, you don't get anything beyond that. And I think Robert Kiyosaki in his book Think and Grow Rich, or no, I mean Rich Man, Poor Man, Rich Man, I think one of the books, he states this concept of the pyramids of what you are. So I ain't going to that. But let's go into the network part. Fair use.
Acceptance is so important because the next part, a network. You have to have a network of other high value men and others. This is another stumbling block for a lot of guys, for a lot of people, because they may have the money, even the length of time. They may look like they fit the group, but if they don't even have any other high value contacts or a network, a group of others, that person's going to be looked at with a side eye. Think of it like this. If you're sitting at the table with 10 high value men, and each of these 10 men has 50 contacts, that's 500 contacts, and you sit at the table and you have twice as much money as any other man on there, but you have 0 contacts. What can you effectively get done other than throw money at it? These other men can make phone calls, exert influence, move things to get things done, and you can only do what? You can only do what? Offer money and potentially feed off that network of contact. One thing high value men know and understand, that time is what's important, and building a network that actually works for you is extremely important. In some areas, it's called a book of business. A book of business can make you successful here, here, and here. Your contacts, your network is your net worth. You've heard this before, so you cannot underestimate how important having a network of high value men and other people is to your status as a high value man. After the
Yeah, say more. And this is why I would say that we more better of the top of the list than anything else. But this is his definition of the 6th component of what makes a high value man, which I'm not going to argue much, because this is something that Kevin put out in front of the world because he is well known and well popular throughout the internet. But always what you know is better. And really, I'm thinking of really the networking part. I might do a video on that, but that's going to be on the behind the wall with that one. How to use network somewhat better, or how to use it to your advantage. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, your network is very important. All right, let's keep going. Fair use.
The network, we got to have the visibility. Guys, your income and your position has to be LinkedIn level. Think of it like this. This person says they're the CEO of a Fortune 500 company. This person is head of thoracic surgery at Johns Hopkins. This person is VP of Mergers and Acquisitions at Bank of America. And then someone says, hi, I'm an entrepreneur. 3 of those 4 people, at a glance, we can pretty much estimate who they are, what they do, and their relative importance in the overall socioeconomic structure. The 4th person, more information is needed. There's not enough visibility, not enough transparency. To be a high value man, it needs to be at a glance. Again, your position and your income. Guys, you may have a lot of money, but if it's coming from sketchy areas, no one can kind of understand where it's coming from, that does not give other high value men or even the public any kind of real confidence that you are who you say you are. Again, guys, it's about the market. It's what the world is thinking. They got to know at a glance that you are a high value man. And the 6th part.
Yeah. So you got to be seen. And LinkedIn does help. I have my questions and skeptics of LinkedIn, but that's not a story. But it does help to know where people can find you. And usually the internet, a digital footprint will be much further, especially if your face is shown and you're in certain positions in society. People want to see and be able to look back on your background, at least to know how useful and how legit you are. So I'm not going to argue that portion. All right, let's go to the last one, and we're going to continue on with this videotape. Various.
Part is probably my favorite part, guys. A high value man is useful to others and the group. A lot of times you hear people say, I don't want to be used. I don't want to be used. No, I want to be used. Why? Because that means I'm useful. High value men are in demand and useful. Their presence is felt when they're there, and their absence is felt when they're gone. That is how you know you're really a high value man. How you can move things, your ability to influence things, and that is your relative usefulness. In economics, it's called utils. How useful are you to the group? Again, there's no high value homeless, neither are there any high value loners. If you have all these resources, all this stuff, but it's all hoarded for your own selfish ends, and no one can benefit from your money, your network, or anything you have, how valuable are you to the group, to the world, to other people? That's what this comes down to. High value men are in demand and useful to other people. As I said at the beginning.
So that's pretty much it. Utilities, usefulness. And Tim writes, let me make this bigger. Tim writes, rest in peace, Kevin Samuels. He definitely helped a lot of brothers get ahead in the game. Yes, he helped a lot. And one thing he also did, Tevin, before he became well established and he started to really grow and rise in fame, he had general conversation with a lot of brothers on the internet for the first few years. Before I came across Kevin back in 2018-ish, late during the Coliseum days conversation. And I did one time called in onto the show, which I don't know if he still has it on his, channel, but I called in one time and, I asked certain questions at that time as well, So he's a very useful man, very respectful, smart, and humble man, He didn't put up with a lot of crap. To let y'all know. He was very firm on black men for a good reason, because he wants to see a better reflection of himself with you. And yes, the times when he went at the brothers, a good portion of the brothers that called in, they got their lives in order. So people that don't know. So now we're going to continue this video with the pink pill and her nonsense. So those are 6 components. And I'll read them again. 6 components is money, time, the group, or what they call network, LinkedIn, and usefulness, or what they call utilities. I think that's what it is. Let me just double check. Let me just make sure. I got to rewind back. I want to make sure I don't want to butcher it. We're going backwards. The 6 components: utilities, usefulness for the group. That's 6. 5, visibility, LinkedIn level. People know where, see, or what you do on a more broader or digital footprint. 4 is network, who you know, very important. And the other one is group acceptance, the group that accept you. And 2 is how long you've been making this money, or you made more money over the period. And the first and top list is money. So those are the components. Those are the 6 components. Let's continue fair use.
Really true. I would say that, especially with the rise in STEM and AI, there's lots of people who are working from home, who are working in those fields, but they're not getting a lot of interaction. So we can look at the numbers and see that people are not interacting with each other like they used to.
Oh, and guys, please make sure to support the channel. Either Super Chat, Cash App. And always, with the Cash Apps, matter of fact, what I'm probably going to do with the Cash App, I might put it and make usefulness for wherever money has been donated to the channel with the Cash App. But your Super Chat will be much better. But either or, any payment goes to the Chaos Ratio will always help for further growth. Thank you. All right, let's keep going. Fair use.
They're not giving up on...
Killer of Cereal donated $200. Let's have a banger of a show. Welcome back, Rattlesnake. Welcome, panel. Before heads start rolling from trolling, let's get those most embarrassing date and your carnal knowledge stories, please. Sing.
I think that's a good direction to take the show. Okay.
Back on track.
Are we back?
I'm hoping. I was playing around with audio bullshit for like an hour back there. Can you guys still hear? Can you guys still hear us, chat? Can you pull up the chat for me, please? Or did I fuck things up further? Can you guys hear us? Can you guys hear us okay?
Looks like yeses.
Okay. All right. All right. Sorry about that for those of you who are sending in some messages. We'll just do that now real quick. No idea what happened there with capacity or another. He finds this unacceptable. He tells you to stop. Do you stop or do you continue?
I don't think I would continue being friends with my ex if I.
I don't want to hear that part. Let me fast forward, you guys.
Really impossible.
I'm doing it right now, bro.
Really impossible.
No, I don't want it. Let me fast forward, guys.
All the while you were thinking about a sexual experience.
No, I don't want to remember that. Let's go further.
Yeah.
All right.
That's why we don't want that
It's
kiwi
a
leaf.
symbol of my tribal
Fern leaf?
heritage.
Is that what it's called?
I don't know.
What's the New Zealand leaf? I don't know.
Okay.
No
This one.
offense to anyone who has a lot of tattoos. Another study.
All right. So move forward. They're gonna ask questions about tattoos, good or bad. Let's look at this one. Fair use. And like I said, guys, I'm skipping forward, so don't mind me and jumping because I'm not gonna play straight through because some of it is, not really that much worth listening. But let's listen. Go. Fair use.
Said that the more tattoos that you have, the more likely for mental illness. So for me personally, a lot of tattoos is like red flag.
And I would agree with the big lady. It is a form of mental illness. When you overexpose and overindulge in inking up your whole entire body, something's wrong with you mentally. You might have got, touch, some form of, mental, issues. But the body is like a clean, wonderful vessel. And you don't want to be damaged or degraded with scars and, paint, for lack of better words. For those that know. So let's keep going. Fair use.
We actually have a study on this, Austin, if you can pick it up or pull it up, please.
Is it the girl?
No, it's the study. Yeah. We'll pull her up in a sec, but it says prevalence of tattoos is higher among people with mental disorders and those likely to come in contact with mental health services. Psychiatric disorders such as are you going to pull it up? Such as antisocial personality disorder. You can make it a little bigger. Psychiatric implications of tattoos. Drug or alcohol abuse and borderline personality disorder are frequently associated with tattoos. Now, I do want to be fair. This is a study from 1990. I should point out.
That's big.
Now,
well, does it hold weight today? Let's look at let's break it down. We noticed since the 90s, and this is just a known assessment. A lot of black people, and let me make myself bigger. A lot of black people did not really like putting ink on their bodies for any port or any duration during a time, when we were integrated into society. The only time you see black people start ink up their body, and there was a particular video, and I can't name what the name of the video was called again, that was on the internet, but it said during the rise, or what we call the images of athletes. I'll explain. Y'all are familiar with Dennis Rodman, right? As weird as he was, at the time when he had gone through some issues with himself, depression or whatever, when he, how can I say it? when he went through his mental breakdown, he came back out of it, I say, rejuvenate. And what the first thing he did and there was a good movie or document that explained his life a little bit. The first thing he did was he started to follow punk rock in regards to non-blacks with their tattoos, right? So what he did, he decided to emulate and start putting a lot of ink and tattoos on his body, and he carried out throughout the basketball field in the NBA, right? And within the span of a year or two, I think this is like during the early 90s, like really 92, I think, maybe 93, I don't know, one of them years. You see, years later, you see basketball players that were a product of the 70s that were adults in the 90s start to wear tattoos as well. And with this phenomenon, every other person that is considered black start around the 90s, mind you, it's the 90s, start to now put tattoos on their body, including black women. And all that as a result of what they see images of one black person, well-known, celebrity, entertainer, athlete do it, then they start mimicking and they start do it as well. So black people very heavily, especially women, are very heavily for what they see image-wise in regards to what is trending, what is cool. And they go replicate it, for those that don't know. Now, some people will say there were certain rap artists that had tattoos, and that might be true. But from what I recall, it did not really become a trend until the likes of Dennis Rodman or certain basketball athletes start putting on their body. It started become a trend. I'm just saying. But y'all got do y'all further research. Y'all can look into it for yourself. But anyhow, let's keep going. Various. But like I said before, when a woman has too many tattoos, it's very unattractive. It's very disturbing. So that study that was done in the 1990s actually holds weight to the 21st century now in present day. And that study was like 34 years old. Ironic. Various.
To be fair, I think the stigma with tattoos has decreased significantly since 1990. But still probably a bit true. I do think it can be a proxy for mental illness or trauma. So
Can't disagree.
Oh, is that the case for you?
You said drug and alcohol abuse, so, I got that. I can't really argue on that.
What were the drugs that you were abusing?
I like pills.
Well, I'm in
Got it.
recovery too, and my husband
Okay.
is as well, and
Oh,
neither
awesome.
of us have any tattoos. So,
I'm just saying me personally.
sorry, go ahead.
Do you have something? Or?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, for me, I feel like tattoos are just kind of like more rugged, and like
Yep.
my husband, he swears a lot, and like kind of when he talks, he says like a lot of the F-bombs and a lot of that stuff, and I just think it sounds so different coming from my mouth or like a teenage girl's mouth, and I kind of look at tattoos like that as well.
Okay.
I'm in the music, so I kind of like my aesthetic, like how it is, like performing wise. I think it's like aesthetic on me and kind of fits.
Mm-hmm.
And since I was a kid, I've wanted tattoos. So, I mean, I know the stigma and I know it all. I personally like them. I like guys with tattoos. I like girls with tattoos.
See on TV, that's why you want
I
it.
do think that's a good point that you raised, though. I do think tattoos tend to be associated with more rough women who might lean to be like less feminine,
Which
and
they
then
are,
typically find
unfortunately.
femininity attractive in women. So
I'd also say it's like when I see women with a lot of tattoos, I tend to see like it is quite chaotic. I think there's potentially quite a lot of chaos in your personality. If you
It's not chaos in the person. They are chaotic in nature. Like literally, this is the definition and the full blown of chaos in full effect. You see it with 60, 80, 90. Hell, I saw one chick with 20 tattoos, 5 on the back, some small, some mid-large, a couple up front, some on her chest. You know what they call the titty tattoo, which looks disgusting. Some on the sleeve of their arm, go up from one end to the other, some on their wrists. Also, you see one with their back tattoo or what they call their butt tattoo. and even go as far as their thighs. Hell, some women are getting tattoos under their box. But that's another story. So it's very disturbing, very chaotic. Very used.
Make big erratic decisions like that to ink up your body. Whereas I think that with guys, tattoos generally tend to be like not a very big deal, you know. But some girls really wouldn't like them. But for the most part, I've never had a girl who said to me, "I wouldn't date you because of your tattoos."
I mean, I disagree with that. I think like if you're into tattoos and like have them, I think a lot of guys like. There's stigmas and everything, but at the end of the day, it's like my friends are tattoo artists. I appreciate the art of tattooing. I used to watch videos of like the ancient tattooers and everything, and like I appreciate the art of tattoos. I'm like, look, at the beginning, I looked around, I'm like, ooh, what tattoo does he have? And that's kind of how my vision of tattoos are. And like people see it like, oh, like you don't put bumper stickers on a Bentley, but I like the art of it.
I like the art of it too, and all of mine are like dot work from different. I've gone to different countries and gotten different tattoos around the world. So I love the art of it. But I wouldn't want my daughter to do it. I wouldn't want it to be on my wife, and it's just a preference of mine.
I had the question with that. Mm-hmm. Do you not appreciate the art? Like if a girl has a very cool, detailed, super nice, like expensive tattoo.
As long as I'm not dating her, I can appreciate it.
No, we don't like that shit. Get it laser removed. Ladies, listen good, listen well. As much as I like artwork, I used to like to draw sometimes. I'm not good at it, but I draw when I get a chance, possibly. It's not attractive. It's not sexy when you have a whole bunch of tattoos. We don't admire art. If I want to admire art, I'll go buy a nice painting. Hell, I'll make one. Draw on a piece of paper or find canvas and draw out my vision and display it for the world. I don't want the display on my body, much as I want to see the display on a lady's body. No matter what symbol it is, it's not attractive. It's not sexy. Now, most dudes will be honest, they just don't care. We just want to, clap the cheeks and maybe keep it going. But in regards to the looking at it as a work of art or the beauty of it, the answer that we don't like that. So really, it's might be nice too, but overall, it's not something that we look forward to or we promote or we advocate for you to do. Fair use.
Oh, okay, sure. I see.
Yeah, for sure.
I can see
that. It's kind of like you don't put a bumper sticker on a Ferrari, you know?
Yep.
Okay, good talk.
It's a thing. Like that's
good talk. What?
I said that like people have been saying that forever. That's what I mean.
Yeah. Saying what forever?
What you just said.
Oh, okay. All right. That's yeah. Let's see here. The photo. Do you want to pull up the photo of the? What do you think, Jake? Which one do you left or right?
Honestly, oh my goodness. Jesus Christ. It's beyond demonic. This looks weird. It's chaotic at best. See what she did to her skin? And a lot of models won't want men to be conditioned to find this to be attractive. They want this to be sexy. I'm going to say I call bullish. This is not sexy. It's not attractive. This is chaotic at best. Fair use.
That's depressing to see that. Yeah, definitely right. Definitely right.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
And the worst thing about she even tattooed her damn forehead. You can't make this. Man, where's Kevin? Where's Kevin? You can't do it. You can't do it. Can't do it.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up! God damn it! You can't make this shit up! All right.
Yeah, they did change the boobs. They did.
She's definitely been doing some drugs.
Her teeth are different as well. Like there's different.
Oh, one other thing I forgot. Y'all know what time it is, guys. Y'all know what to do.
I want my money. I told you.
Where is my money?
Benny. Bring me everyone.
I need my money. I need my money.
Make sure you guys support the channel. Get the super chat or cash app to the Chaos Rain Show. You know, all contributions will be appreciated. And if you have really tangible questions that really needs to be asked, please put in the super chat. I will truly appreciate it. But let's keep going. Fair use.
Things besides your tattoos.
It's
like hidden in there.
But that's like a very extreme too. Like especially face. I have tattoos, but face tattoos and like neck tattoos are a deal breaker for me in a man. Even like, and I do appreciate tattoos, but I can't do face or.
I think it's a red flag if a man has no visual skin on their body and every single part of him is tattooed, like head to toe.
Oh, if he's heavily tattooed.
Yeah.
I see.
I'm like, what are you trying to overcompensate for or get a fulfillment?
I just didn't appreciate her tattoos. Like, I wouldn't look at her and be like, wow, that's a cool tattoo that I'd want to like analyze and be like, what's the meaning? Like, that's why I don't think it's attractive.
Okay, very cool. Coming back to you here. So Ava, right? Eva or Ava?
Eva.
Eva? So it's like option 3? Okay.
That's how Australians say it.
Eva. Yeah. Okay.
It's Evangeline, my full name, so that's why.
Oh, that's cool.
Eva.
You said you had a boyfriend who cheated on you.
Yeah.
Is that the most recent one?
All right, let me fast forward this, guys.
All right. That's, yeah. Okay. Map on 100% one to.
If it's directed towards male attention, then that's
so if
different.
it's directed towards male.
Hold on, guys. I'm trying to find the clip here.
Yes.
They both are addictive.
Yeah, it completely depends on the context.
Well, I mean,
of what
if
you're using.
Generally speaking, when we talk about instant gratification for guys, it's like a sexual thing, right? So if a guy's like people call them like incels, they involuntary celibate, then they'll go on porn all the time just for instant gratification.
All right, we don't want to hear all that. Let's fast forward that shit. All right.
Like what else I could do besides.
Would the business run without the OnlyFans? Would it run? With that in
We
mind,
call those beta males.
Access to my pussy and naughtiest content, customs, private lives, VIP.
Okay, I think this one was intriguing. Nora is a little break from Pink Pill a bit. She's gonna talk in a little second from other things. But this lady right here that says she's an entrepreneur, I've noticed something with a lot of women that are doing these OnlyFans. They're doing it just to pay their little bills or whatever funded whatever endeavors they had with the help of you simps, ones that's married or not. You are funding these ladies so they continue with the delusion. Real talk. All right, I see something that Kevin wrote. The LA chick with tattoos are the easiest to smash. Oh, really? They know that, man. Well, you live in LA, so you would know, Tevin. Hey, Tevin, if you don't mind, if you want to say some stories about it. Well, these chicks that have multiple tattoos, were they the freakiest out of the bunch? Here's a question. All right, let's listen to this on fast. And one thing with her, because these men are supplying the money to her, she feels bold to really say cost of an entrepreneur. Give me a break. Well, let's listen to her story. Phrase.
Access to your pussy.
Subscribe to find out.
You want to walk back some of the things you've been saying a little bit here?
No.
Wait,
But
so why did
So
why
I
did
mean,
you say
maybe
no when I
so
said
so
we can
Jake
play
here
it?
was saying he wants his woman to be his. He doesn't want to see other people to see it. So he doesn't want other people to have access to his woman's pussy, which you essentially called insecure. Is that insecure?
No, that's taking it pretty far. I was just
But that's
speaking
what
of the
you
terms
do.
of modeling and the modeling side of the things I'm doing.
Right, but you were like the frame here was like you were kind of talking about yourself to some degree.
Yeah, I was talking about my modeling.
Right, but you weren't letting on the full scope of your online content creation.
Oh, we weren't on that topic.
Well, that's why I was confused. I asked you if it was like a broad thing of like women or like more specifically you. Because if you're talking about lingerie, like that's one thing, like with other women, but I thought with you meant. I got confused on that.
Do you think that a guy would be insecure if he saw that and said that he doesn't want to date you?
Yeah.
Why?
Oh, do I think?
Good
I
question.
think that would make him insecure, and he wouldn't want to date me.
No.
Bro, are you serious? What? Where's Kevin, man? Kevin could say this better than anything else, man.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up! God damn it! You can't make this shit up!
What they be knocking, y'all? The sonic rings up out of it and you...
Thank you, Tevin King, for your $10 super chat. I surely appreciate it. Yeah, it's right. That's what she said. Let's run the tape. Fair use, fair use.
Do you think that if you were dating a guy, went on a first date, and you said, I've got this OnlyFans, he looked it up and saw that, and he said, oh, sorry, I don't want to date you. Do you think that that would be an insecurity?
I don't know. I think it's just like a personal preference. Like I can't say whether the guy's insecure or not.
What do you think?
I don't think it has so much to do with insecurity. It's more like just what are your values? Like what do you prefer?
Do you think that, because the way that I see it is that if a guy sees that and he does engage with dating a girl like that, I would see him as actually very insecure because he's just allowing that to be all over the internet. And I'd say that a secure man has very firm boundaries. And the boundaries would be, no, you cannot get naked and talk about your pussy on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
It's mine. I'm the only one who gets to see that. So I'd say that that's actually very secure and someone who's firm in their boundaries. Would you agree?
I agree. Yeah, that's
So
a good point.
with that in
We
mind,
call
though,
those beta males.
with that in
Mm. 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 Mm.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up! God damn it! You can't make this shit up! God damn it! You can't make this shit up! God damn it! You can't make this shit up!
You heard it, gentlemen. You're a beta male if you're so secure and don't want no other man to look at your woman's vagina or whatever you want to call it. That's what they said. You're a beta male if you ask that type of standard. They'll look at you as funny. They'll look at you as weird. So it lets me think. Now that that one of the women said that, let me wind that back because I think I need to hear this again because it might go over.
in terms of your own dating prospects. With that in
We
mind,
call
though,
those beta males.
with that in
We
mind,
call
though,
those beta males.
with that in
We
mind,
call
though,
those beta males.
with that in
We
mind,
call
though,
those beta males.
I think that would make him insecure, and he wouldn't want to date me.
No, do you think that if you were dating a guy, went on a first date, and you said, I've got this OnlyFans, he looked it up and saw that, and he said, oh, sorry, I don't want to date you. Do you think that that would be an insecurity?
I don't know. I think it's just like a personal preference. Like I can't say whether the guy's insecure or not.
What do you think?
I don't think it has so much to do with insecurity. It's more like just what are your values? Like what do you prefer?
Do you think that, because the way that I see it is that if a guy sees that and he does engage with dating a girl like that, I would see him as actually very insecure because he's just allowing that to be all over the internet. And I'd say that a secure man has very firm boundaries. And the boundaries would be, no, you cannot get naked and talk about your pussy on the internet.
Mhm.
It's mine. I'm the only one who gets to see that. So I'd say that that's actually very secure and someone who's firm in their boundaries. Would you agree?
Yep.
I agree. Yeah, that's
So
a good point.
with that in
We
mind,
call
though,
those beta males.
with that in
We
mind,
call
though,
those beta males.
with that in
We
mind,
call
though,
those beta males.
with that in
We
mind,
call
though,
those beta males.
And Tim writes, to be honest, only a small percentage of them are freaky. 2 out of 10. But most of them have mental health issues and still want the full dating experience, right? Yeah, they all women want a full dating experience, Tevin, unfortunately. But yet, like the lady, the blonde said, you're a beta male. Enough said. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? Anyhow, let's keep going. Fairies.
With that in mind, though, in terms of your own dating prospects, why would you do that if you are looking to engage in something serious in the future?
Because I have a business that I'm starting and I make a lot of money through my OnlyFans, and I want to self-fund my business.
So do you think that your business is more important than potentially having a family? And
Yes, 100%.
so you think that that's a good trade-off, is money over... You'd be happy to be single for the rest of your life as long as you have your lingerie business?
As long as I have my lingerie business, I don't care about meeting anybody or having... That's my number one priority in life. It's
Do you
my
think
passion.
that will fulfill you long-term?
Yes.
How so?
I love it, and I'm very close with my family. My mom is my business partner.
What about when your mum dies?
That would suck. I can't even imagine.
Wait, your mom is your business partner?
Yeah.
And she is.
And she's aware of the
OnlyFans
access to your pussy thing.
We're very close. She knows every single thing about my
Does
life.
she shoot for you?
Shoot my content?
Yeah.
No, it's self-shot. Everything on my OF is shot by me.
Does she have an OF?
No. Thought about
Wait,
it.
what does your mom think about the whole prostitution thing?
Prostitution?
Yeah.
You mean my OnlyFans?
Well, it is a form of prostitution if
Oh,
you're
y'all-
accepting
I'm
money.
not saying you're a streetwalker, but
You're saying my OnlyFans is prostitution?
Sex work.
Sex work, yeah.
That's not prostitution.
Because most you ladies today, modern women, don't understand or know difference when you're out there and you put yourself on the internet, preferably on the paywall. It is a form of solicitation. That is a form of prostitution. It's actually a form of softcore adult content, to be brutally honest. Fairies.
Selling
your body and getting money is 100% prostitution.
Okay, for lack of respect.
I mean, I don't know if it's...
And you're saying, does my mom know about it?
Yeah.
Yeah, she knows about my OnlyFans.
Is she in favor of it, against it? What does she think?
She knows the kind of content I post, and sometimes like I'll send her the sets because I'm really proud of like the type of photos that I'm creating for there. So yeah, I mean, she doesn't have anything negative to say. Would she rather me not have an OnlyFans? I'm sure, but we're business partners together, and I'm funding the business, so I don't really know like what else I could do besides.
Would the business run without the OnlyFans? Would it operate at a profit or at a loss?
We haven't launched yet, so I'm not sure. But when we do launch, I'm sure that will be the case, and that is the plan.
Also, just to clarify on the prostitution thing, so just the definition, the practice or occupation of engaging in sexual activity with someone for payment. So.
But you're not engaging; it's like online.
You said conversation. So you're like,
Well,
are you
anyone who
messaging
isn't
them?
engaging in your photos and your videos or whatever, I mean,
just
that
think
is
of
a
as,
two-way
like,
street.
a physical thing, but.
And then you did say you're like, well, that's like the disrespectful way. What would be the respectful
Because I
way
don't
to
think
describe
women
it?
who do OnlyFans are prostitutes. I think that's a huge stretch. I mean, is Cardi B a prostitute because she has an OnlyFans?
She actually was.
Yeah.
She was a prostitute. Oh, and see, if we want to go back to a moment of history, a moment of time, Cardi B, before you well known her to be well famous doing what they call Bodak Yellow and other things. Her rise to fame, to people who knew her, she was a dancer, an adult dancer in the clubs, and she was found by particular people that's in the business. And you know how it goes, ladies. You have to suck and screw to get your way in the top, which Cardi B is no exemption to that. And like most people that's in the field do that. It's not something that, unfortunately, is we were proud of, but that's how you had to get yourself known out there to be and put yourself in place to be on those type of circles. that was her first thing of her rise of fame, was the adult entertainment side of things. But like I said before, when most women that are, you know, fantasizing or glorifying their favorite artists, singers, etc., they'll never look at their backgrounds. What were their early beginnings? And that's one thing I find weird. But most women nowadays, they don't really look at the details anyway. Anyhow, before I continue this, I think Tevin wrote, also be careful of the chicks with gang tattoos. If she puts out in no time, she is planning on sending her gangs to come rob or everything. It's a majority problem here, but people out of town don't know. Thanks for the info. Fair use, fair use.
Yes,
She was, but I don't think all these celebrities who are on there are.
She's a terrible example as well.
Yeah, that's
Very
a bad
much very
example. But there's other celebrities on there, singers, and a bunch of other types of entertainers who aren't prostitutes.
Don't you think that's a little bit of an insecurity thing, though? Like being called something like a prostitute? Like if you're passionate and you're like self-confident with your job and everything, like wouldn't that be insecure where you got like offended being called a prostitute?
I am offended by that, and I am insecure about having an OnlyFans. I hate that I have to have one. It really sucks. I wish I was just a trust fund baby to where I could have a bunch of money to start my business, but I am a lingerie model, so I have a great platform to start something like an OnlyFans.
How many Instagram followers do you have?
1.3 million.
So why would you need an OnlyFans if you've got such a big platform on Instagram? Couldn't you just start small and just work your way up, work with influencers, get a digital marketing agency, work another job, drive an Uber?
That's why people do pre-orders and stuff.
But like, I
there's
mean,
other business ways.
I've got my own business in terms of my channel and the content we do. We started from the bottom and we've just had to grind, and it's a slow process. Brian has the same thing. I'm sure other people at the table as well. But
The
those
business
sort
model
of
doesn't work like that.
fast money comes with fast consequences as well. Dirty money comes with dirty consequences, and that sort of thing, going into that to then sort of elevate yourself in the future will have like negative ramifications.
What would the negative ramifications be?
You won't be able to, like, a guy that you will want to be with won't want to be with you because of that past.
Your husband and future children will not appreciate naked photos and videos of you being out there on the internet.
Well, that's not the person I would choose. I wouldn't choose a person who had a problem with that.
Well, you can't choose your children.
Well,
They just are picked for you.
I can choose my lover, and I wouldn't choose somebody who had a problem.
Wait, do you want children now?
I would love to be a stepmom, and if somebody wants to have children with me, I'm definitely open to it.
Did you say that you said you don't like it, but that it brings...
Hills of Beverly donated $200.
Thank you, Hills.
Ladies, a chunk of you seem confused. What do you actually want? What are you looking for?
We'll come to that in a sec. So you have your question for her, and then we'll get to the TTS.
Yeah, so like you said, you don't like it, right? But it's just bringing you money for your lingerie business, right? Okay, so like I have a past, and basically when I was in certain things that I felt were demoralizing to a sense, but maybe financially profitable, like I started coming up with this analogy.
All right, guys, let me fast forward this because
Of how I felt, and I felt
engaged with the woman and
in the Bible, and you're putting yourself out there.
Dry, kind of.
Oh,
Dry,
guys.
sarcastic. I don't like when I make like a sarcastic comment and a guy's like, "Oh, did I?"
engaged with the woman and
Only God could judge.
Do you?
Putting it, you can be kinky within your relationship with.
Only God could
Do
judge.
you? Do you think God wants you to be doing OnlyFans?
Okay. Hold on. I'm trying to find my footing, guys. I apologize because I had to skip through this. All right, we can continue on to this one. Various ways.
No, I think he wants me to have a successful lingerie company.
But you're doing OnlyFans.
Yes.
Okay, so
do you agree that one of the 7 deadly sins is lust?
Do I agree? It is.
Yeah. So would you say that you feeding men's lust and sort of feeding into that industry is something that would be contradictory
men's
to the
lust
Christian
is
worldview?
not my fault if you have those emotions.
If
over
men are
me.
lusting over you and you're providing that willingly, would you say that you're a part of the process whereby
You're
men are
you're
lusting?
literally contributing to it.
It's called being a stumbling block.
A stumbling
Yeah,
block?
the Bible specifically says not to be a stumbling block for others.
And how am I a stumbling block?
Because you're putting yourself out there
Putting the
for
block
guys.
on the ground.
And women are supposed to be modest. It talks about modesty in the Bible. And you're putting yourself out there so that men can come and pay for it.
Enabling the behavior.
Wait, did you say God can't judge you?
No, I
That was
just
a
I
wild
said I
one.
don't think God judges me for having an OnlyFans.
That's like the whole point of the Bible, I think.
Oh yes, God has watched down upon you, you succubus. He has watched now and saying, "My dear God, why is this little wench, this blonde wench up in here selling loose, exotic clothes and showing her box print all throughout the internet? I did not want and grace my children with such filth." That's what God thinks. Case in point. Fair use.
To follow certain morals and beliefs.
Do you believe in the Bible?
Of course, yes.
Have you read the Bible?
Yes.
No.
How much of the Bible have you read? Like scriptures here and there or cover
Every
to
night
cover?
my mom sends me a Bible verse before I go to bed, and that's been ever since the day I've left the house.
Can I share something that I learned? Because I used to read
That's right.
scriptures here and there, and I started reading the Bible cover to cover, and my understanding of the Bible and God.
Oh, sorry.
It's so different now.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
My bad.
It's very different now when you read it cover to cover because God absolutely does judge. He tells us to leave our sin. And I have my own sin, right? I don't make excuses for my sin, and I don't say that it's justified or God is not judging me. I know that He is, and I try to do better.
I'm not ashamed of what I'm doing, though.
So she sends you Bible verses and you send her your nudes to look over before you post them?
They're
Good
not
point.
nudes.
Or lingerie pics?
Yes.
Okay.
I think she's making a good point, though, about the nature of sin, though, because we all fall short. Like, we all sin. I lust all the time whenever I see a beautiful girl. You wouldn't want to know what I'm thinking. But I think that there's something key in that to know that it's wrong and to know that what you're doing is something that you need to try and fight against, and that's actually the devil playing with you and actually
feel that
tempting
way.
you. I know you don't feel that way, but you definitely should about
It's
it.
pride.
Wait.
Don't tell me how I should feel.
Well, I think we're going to have a conversation, and this is how I feel, and I'm telling you how I think you should feel. So it's my opinion and your opinion. You're welcome to your opinion, of course, but you are sort of, when you're doing OnlyFans, you're definitely feeding into the industry of lust. This is.
You know, I admire these gentlemen trying to explain to these ladies about what they do, why they do. They do it because they don't give a and they need the money. See, if OnlyFans was not paying, you think majority of these chicks will sit there, waste their time, putting out a subscription of $4.99 a month to expose their so-called twats, their boobs, and all other forms of body parts. Hell, even go as far as showing their feet, right, a manicure or unmanicured feet to the world for some simp to buy and pay for. It was not profitable. You will not be hearing about this. So tell them all these Bible verses and all stuff. They're gonna still do the thing anyway. They're gonna sit there say, "I'm gonna sit there, bow my head, and I'm gonna turn on that camera, that smartphone with the lights, and expose my body to the world for a fee of $4.99 a month." Fair use.
Absolutely paving the way for the immiseration of men who consume this content.
Does your religious convictions, does it supersede everything?
What does that mean?
Would you say your relationship with God or your religious views, would you say these things, your faith is one of the most important, or if not the most important thing in your life?
It's not the most important.
What's more important than your faith?
My family.
Okay. So is it
relationship with my
family,
family.
faith,
Family, faith, career.
career? Okay, so your faith supersedes your career.
Yes.
Okay.
Before you said the career is the most important thing, and you don't care if you're single forever. So
I
what do
did
you
say
mean?
besides my family.
Like,
Okay.
And we were
okay, not
talking
like
in-
building
And
a
so,
family.
No, we were talking in terms of what I
So,
value having career
you s-
over finding love.
You said you were God-fearing, right? So again, do you think God wants you to be doing porn?
No,
He doesn't want you to be doing
of
porn.
course not.
So why do you
Okay.
continue?
Can I
What do
interject?
you think Satan wants you to be doing?
What do I think Satan?
Suck dick. That's what Satan, wants you to do. I mean, and that's as raw as I can get. But anyway, fairies.
Wants me to? I don't really think about what Satan wants me to do.
Okay, so if you're God-fearing and God doesn't want you to do porn, how do you reconcile these two kind of conflicting?
I don't consider myself doing porn, but I know everybody has different definitions,
Okay,
so I
so
don't
fine.
want to debate that.
So okay, fine. God doesn't want you to be posting nude or near nude photographs on your OnlyFans. How about that?
Okay.
And let's say, do you consider it sex work?
No. But it's okay. Like for the sake of conversation, we don't have to debate it.
Okay, I won't even use the term that you don't agree with. Do you think God wants you posting nude or near nude photographs on your OnlyFans?
I don't think God cares about that.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
I've heard you talk about your mom a lot, but what about your father?
We're very close too.
You're very close to.
Does he know you do OnlyFans? And he knows that you have the P word in your profile?
I don't think he's read my profile.
Okay.
But if he read that, I don't think he would care because my parents, I'm very close with them. They know me very well. And
Are your parents still together?
no, I have a stepdad too. We're also very close.
And how does your stepdad feel about it?
He supports me 100% because they know I'm building a lingerie business. So OnlyFans isn't my.
But does your father really do support it? Does he really know what you really do on the side? Should be the question to be asked. And most fathers, if we want to keep it really honest, want their daughters to be able to make a decent living without exposing their bodies. Any fashion, any form of gain. But you can tell a lot of these women don't really care. Once they get past 18 and they see things different and they see money and the potential money, they won't give up and they will show it all. Because there's some sucker that's going to pay for it, especially online. While I heard, busting it really wide open. Just saying. Fairies.
Career. I am using my social media fans to make an income.
Do you make of the money that you do make, what percentage comes from OnlyFans?
The majority.
This is like the biggest cope ever. Like, well, I'm currently a drug dealer selling methamphetamine to 12-year-olds, but it's in furtherance of me starting a swimsuit company down the line. So it's justified because I'm trying to start a legitimate business with my not so legitimate
Do you plan on
business.
stopping OnlyFans if your lingerie business takes off, even if OnlyFans makes more money than your lingerie business?
Yes.
Do you know where it says in the Bible to like do what you want as long as it doesn't hurt anybody else?
Yeah.
Where?
I don't feel like I'm hurting anybody else if that's what
No,
you're getting at.
that doesn't say that in the Bible.
Okay.
That says that in the book of Satan, just so you know. It's do what thou wilt. But in the Bible, there's very strong.
That was a mic.
All right, let's fast forward.
Kind of.
Laundry.
You meet the love of your life.
All right, I'm not good because it's pure babble now. She's gonna keep doing it. No matter. No one can tell no. All right, here's Kristen's version. Let's hear Kristen on this.
I think she was lying about gay man to not scare away subs. She isn't interested in relationships. Too bad I can't afford the coin for the kick.
Lol Paladins, good to see you, man. Wait, really quick, God-fearing, what's your favorite Bible verse?
I don't know.
When's the last time you went to church?
A few months ago.
Which church was it?
It was a church in the Woodlands.
Which denomination?
Methodist.
Non-Methodist. Okay. I think it's all cap, honestly. I think it's just like.
Can I ask, when's the last time you prayed?
Every day.
Every day?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's all cap, but okay. So let's just move
I
on.
have one question though. You say that you're. Listen, I'm not here to pile on, but I'm just confused about one thing. You said that you are a Christian kink. So you mentioned, like the first guy you mentioned that you wanted your ideal is Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate is Muslim, and he's already got I don't know how many wives. You know, I mean, how does that work? Like you would have to convert to Islam to be.
I don't think Andrew Tate's worried about just having Muslim wives.
I think Andrew Tate's got a real.
But that's not, I'm not worried about
Romanian wives.
Yeah, I'm not worried about him. I'm just saying that if she's as convicted as
But I don't
she
think
says,
she was meaning Andrew Tate specifically.
She was just giving an example.
Not all
An
the
example
things
of
about him. There's just like a
type
few
of man.
qualities. Like people get the whole like image of a very manly man. I mean, let me give a way better example. Joe Rogan, somebody who's open-minded, very, let's say, conservative, but also socially
edgy.
liberal.
Yeah.
A socially liberal
So
person, which
moderate?
that's how I see myself.
Yeah, it's
Is
not
Joe Rogan conservative?
No, he's
I don't
not.
think he's not.
I don't think
either.
Charlie.
I'd say if anything,
Kirk
Joe
is
Rogan would be a liberal.
Yeah, he's pretty.
No, he's not.
That's what I'm
What do
saying.
you, what's
Yeah, that's what I'm
conservative?
saying.
Maybe a Tony
right.
Hinchcliffe.
He's gay, isn't he?
No, he has a wife.
A type.
Says God doesn't judge. Says God doesn't judge. Put that slogan on your lingerie and breed a new generation of degenerate feminist boss babes who also like to show pee.
Definitely not a feminist.
To not build
For their vacation.
My husband and I to grow and have.
Hold on.
For their vacation, for her hair.
All right, let me fast forward.
I don't like big egos, super vain, diva shit. Brings me peace, doesn't quarrel, doesn't party, doesn't drink, doesn't do drugs, doesn't go to bars or
huge.
Sure. That's
Really women who think everything is a red flag.
All right, here's a good one.
so. Anyways, where were we? Oh, we got a chat here from Techno Trooper. What are some red flags you're willing to overlook without letting them bother you? Starting with you.
These are like really hard
One
questions.
eternity.
Like maybe it has a girl best friend. I know that that's a lot of red flags for people, but I think having female friendships is important.
Wait, red flag you're willing to overlook.
Now, we all know a lot of ladies, everything they see or do today or be around, they consider what they call a red flag, which I find it weird, but okay. If you consider everything a red flag a man does, whether they look, care of himself, or any small details, you need to get your head examined, chick, personally. Because let's be honest, for a person that constantly thinks everything is a red flag from the opposite sex, they're not really interested in the opposite sex. Matter of fact, they rather deal with the same sex, I want to be honest with you, because they don't have that same discernment or energy. So I think you're messing with the wrong type of person. I'm just saying. But anyway, let's hear from the table. And really, this is where Pink Pill really goes in and answers that question. Fairies.
Like a lot of people say that a guy having a girl best friend is a red flag.
But you don't no, but you don't think it's a red flag, so it doesn't really answer the question.
Well, that's a red flag I would overlook.
So you think it's a red flag?
To some people,
No, do you think it's a red flag?
no.
So it's not really a red flag. If you don't think it's a red flag, you wouldn't really be overlooking it.
Yeah. But like societally, a lot of women would see it as a red flag.
Yeah.
So like it's not a red flag for you, but it's a red flag for most.
I think the question is, you view it as a red flag, but you're willing to overlook it.
Can you come back to me maybe?
Okay, sure. What about you?
I'm not overlooking things that are red flags. It's kind of a dumb question.
All right. What about you?
I think it's a red flag to have like a very colorful past, but I do too. So I would look past it because I think I have that red flag. Like just, I feel like I've grown as a person and changed, but I would look over that, seeing how they are now.
Okay. What about you?
I will never overlook red flags again. So there's not a negotiation for that.
What if he's really attractive and super buff?
I don't care because
Great
looks
tats,
are not really a
but
huge thing for me.
super
so
rich, huge pee-pee.
don't care.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. What about you?
Not, I won't look over red flags, but I can give you a yellow flag.
Stop the cap.
Okay. Yellow flag that you would overlook.
Okay, you guys are gonna think this is weird, but if we are in a quiet room and he is chewing popcorn with his mouth open, that is a red flag to
Does it
me.
give you the ick?
You don't even understand what. Oh, I can't even go in. Yep.
So
and
he's
if he's
chewing
afraid of spiders,
popcorn.
because I need him to be afraid of spiders.
Can we get some popcorn going so that we can?
But what about just open
spiders,
mouth
if
chewing?
he's not a spider taker, carer, I don't want to know what he's doing with it, but if he does not take care of the spiders.
You do
So
well dating in
valid.
Australia. You'd like them.
So I was going to talk to you about that. I heard about
We can
your
talk. I know some people.
What about you?
I think like red flags maybe that I have, like I can't have a double standard, right? Like my weight for one, I can't be like, oh, well, he's not disciplined, he's not fit, because I mean, I have my own stuff. So in those things, like you said, you have a colorful past, so you might overlook that. So things, issues that I have, I guess, I wouldn't have a double standard.
Okay.
I have a little bit of a different take. I think that there's too many, particularly women, who think everything is a red flag. Like, oh,
Yes,
he
Yes,
didn't
it
put this toilet seat down. Oh, forget it. Kind of nitpicky thing. Okay, so it's like, and he was just who he was. And I was like, wait a minute. Is this your representative? And you, yeah, what? And it, but then got to know him and
Private
okay,
chat.
that's legit. Yeah. So I think a lot of women
So you're saying he opened himself up to you early, and you got to
Yes.
see all of the
got to
cards.
see all the got to see
It's
it
a
all
tough thing to
and
do
then
as a
make
guy,
a choice.
to open up early. It's not really something that you want to do, and often we hold back a lot and we drip feed because if you show a woman everything at once, they'll often be repulsed by that.
Well, it's not like he was, showing me his 8th grade diary when our first date, but he definitely was more open.
But yeah, women are
and,
definitely attracted to mystery. So
and,
you definitely have to keep a little bit of that going.
yeah, so I mean, it was kind of, when he wasn't like showing up as his representative, I was like, does it get worse? Like how? No, it's like that's just him. So I would have missed out on a great guy if I would have said, no, girl, go.
Yeah, definitely a past.
Well, at least the pink pill's honest about red flags. Said, she, which I said, which I don't know if she agrees with me or not, that too many women find everything a problem red flag as something that women could work on to alleviate. And I think the reason why women think like that because they have a fear-based mentality in regards to the mates or certain mates that they're either attracted to or whatever. They want what is considered perfection. Human beings are flawed. They're not supposed to be perfected beings. But when it comes to modern women, in their mind, they think every man should be perfect, have no flaw, no issues. It's kind of delusional, in my opinion. All right, let's keep going. Fairies. And I think we're almost, we have another hour away.
Drug addiction, gambling addiction, felonies. Those are all things that I would overlook, or I have overlooked.
Showing me like who they were.
Unhide it in sources, please.
I agree. I think.
I hope you have a good night. Kill of cereal.
Sister meaning to text. Yeah. I was like, oh, sister. And
he gave it to me. I had a couple puffs, And I got so paranoid, I thought my brain would turn into a scrambled egg.
Okay.
I
Here's an interesting one.
Yeah, that's not really embarrassing. Okay, what about you?
I've answered it. Do you want me to answer again?
Yes.
The same story of the girl was horrible and I had to go to the bathroom and lie and drop her off at home because it was unbearable and it was a silent car ride.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any embarrassing. No.
I don't really have any embarrassing ones.
Can you tilt your mic down a little bit?
Yeah, I can't think of any.
Okay.
EJ, 19, maybe 18 years old. He gave me a joint. And it was the first joint I'd ever had. It was illegal at the time, obviously, because this was in the 90s. And we grew up watching all of those, like, don't do drugs, like the skillet that you crack the egg on it, this is your brain on drugs.
Mhm.
And so we're on the date. He gave it to me. I had a couple puffs. And I got so paranoid, I thought my brain would turn into a scrambled egg. And so we were in Long Beach, and I was running across the bridge trying to get the weed out of my system so I could be normal again. And he was running after me going, wait, wait. So yeah, that was probably the most embarrassing.
Mm-hmm. What about you?
Okay, so like when me and my husband.
Now, you know, Crystal, don't lie. You in California, that's the weed ganja capital right there. You're going to be smoking. So don't think that's the first time or last time you smoked some weed. Hell, you smoke cigarettes, sweetie. So obviously you're going to be indulging in the Mary J. Let's continue. Fairies.
And we had taken a break.
Let me fast forward this.
You know,
Do you think about to happen? But
46, well, you'll be better looking at 46?
Yes.
Better looking at 56, 20 years' time? And then you're 36 where you
agree with the physical part of it.
I'd say it's more value, the word you're looking
Yeah,
for. Is the
absolutely.
value of woman, wisdom, and fulfilling maternal duties and all that sort of thing. It's very attractive.
Yeah, but like physically to the rest of the world. I mean, every
Physical
child
is very
that
different.
I've had,
Yeah.
I've
Yeah. Physical
definitely
attractive is very different to the value.
you.
Absolutely.
All right. Yeah, it's just kind of interesting that people don't realize how aging works, but I don't know. Why can't people just be like, yeah, people are typically better looking when they're younger, you know?
Who said that?
Hmm?
Who said that you don't, or that you're not better looking when you're younger?
Oh, here's the important part.
Several females here at the panel said that they're in their prime now, in their mid-30s, and then they said they would be even better looking in their 40s.
Okay.
I don't think I'm in my prime now. I just think that my personal goals that I have is going to flourish me when I am 46 versus how I feel right now in my...
Your personal goals are what?
My personal goals within like my fitness or my body as an individual.
Mm-hmm.
But society speaking, I'm not, if we were to go on that end, youthful is more attractive, and I know that. So, I mean, I do have two different answers because I can't speak for society. I can only speak for myself on that end. So if I'm going to rate myself, that's what it is.
Go ahead.
I mean, I guess that's also kind of the reason why I said what I said. I was a mom, a very young mom. My kids are a little bit older. So at 26, I was very tired, overweight, had a toddler and a baby. Didn't have time to go to the gym, take care of myself, all that stuff. So I do feel physically better now that my kids are older and I have the ability to get through all of those things that I need for myself to take care of myself.
That's valid.
I was like using hard drugs when I was in my early 20s. And I still can look back and see, I mean, I feel like I've probably gotten wrinkles just sitting at this
Guys,
table.
I'm trying to
Like,
find that
I can
point.
still look back and see that, even then, at least for male attention, there's something just with youth that guys equate to beauty more than anything
Oh, at
else.
26, I was fantastic. I was doing just fine.
I said 5 years later, but I'm also 20, so I mean, I'm working on my health.
I would say mid-20s is
that's what I'm
prime.
saying.
Yeah.
Stats say that it's between 20 and 24. is when a woman is most
That
physically
sounds about
attractive.
right, yeah.
That's what the studies say in terms of what guys find most attractive
That's fair.
physically.
Well, let me change the question a little bit. Do you think that the average 35-year-old woman is hotter than the average 25-year-old woman?
No.
Okay, here's the question. Now that's a good question. Found it. All right. So now this one here, if y'all guys pay attention closely, Miss Chris Carson is going to say some things about this aging thing, which the studies reveal otherwise, and really she's going to speak for herself. But we all know when we talk about which woman or what is better, if we talk about where a woman stands in the eyes of men, if younger is better or old is better. Hear her remarks on this. So listen carefully. Fair use.
No.
Going around the table.
No.
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 It depends on the
You're
race.
too far from the mic.
Sorry, it depends on the race.
Who are these reverse aging people? I'd like to meet them.
Because no, it's not that it's reverse aging. It's just that the darker skin you have, you age more slowly.
But do you age still?
Yes, you do, but you age more.
Yes, black people that have dark skin do age slow by not only by what her statement is, but just unfortunately a genetic fact. Now, one thing that's not been disclosed is you'll age slowly depending how well you manage your health. Now, if you're eating artificial foods, rarely getting exercise, hell, even getting very lack of sunlight, actual sunlight, you kind of hurt your skin a little bit as a melanated person in the long run. Dark you are, you're able to avoid the aging process, but there's no guarantee you're going to look really good if you don't do these essential things to better your overall appearance in the long run. That's one thing that's never been talked about. But let's keep going. Fair use.
So that would
Slowly in
make
comparison.
you more old in 10 years?
That's not what the question was.
Yeah, it's about attractiveness, and age generally tends to equate to attractiveness.
Yes, but if you compare a 25-year-old white girl and a 35-year-old black woman, if we
But they're not
average
the
10
same.
years...
They're not the same person, though.
Yeah, it's just based on one person.
Oh, it's based on one
Yes.
person. Oh, I thought you were just talking about the average. She
Austin,
didn't
can you
make that.
close the doors?
But
So,
I mean,
yeah,
even if it was, even if you had to sort of equal it out between all the races, on average, do you think that there would be?
No, I think that there is a difference. I do. I
Do you think that
there's
the
a
average
difference.
25-year-old black girl is more attractive than the average 35-year-old black girl?
No, I would say it was pretty much the same. And
No, that's a lie. That's a lie. I'm very lie. And the reason why I say it's because if we want to be honest, if we had to do a comparison, okay, two women on one side, and they're black, and we can go as far as heavily melanated, maybe brownish, darker skin, depending. We're going to compare them to. One on the left is 25. One on the right is like 35, right? They're black in culture, black in genetics, etc. Depending. But what separates the two ladies? The age. And ladies keep fighting this with the men constantly. The younger you are, not only your fertility is much more a necessity, but really you might not gone through certain things or certain traumas. Now, today, I don't know if I could really believe that most modern women today that's under the age of 30 might not put themselves in a certain trauma like that. And I think a lot of dudes will say it to be nice, but some women, depending on their background, on how they've been, their development or their how they've been raised and grown from the society, some might grow up, might not have very little trauma at all. Some might go through stages where they've been touched when they're younger. How some come in physically abused, possibly. But if their outer appearance looks good, we don't really focus on that too much. But usually, what you've gone through physically and mentally will always be reflective. So that is another parameter why the age is more of a better factor. Now, I would put in regards to saying this that usually younger you are, the less miles you have in regards to body counts, but most women nowadays are having double digits in bodies, unfortunately. So really the age parameter is just a factor we scale to see which one will be better or better direction to take if we're going to select certain women as mates, especially black women. And depending on where the man is mentally too. And usually a man, if he's a little older, younger will be better. You know what I'm saying? Instead of getting someone your age, unless you and her were together from the start. That's the giver that they don't talk about. So I cannot agree that you are just as even better or even higher value than a woman that's 25. That's erroneous. That's preposterous. That's insane. Just to make you feel that you're in competition with women that are younger than you, Miss Crystalline, but you're not. What you was 35 is uncomparable to someone that was 25 that could look like you and probably look better than you and has more youth and actual fertility. Besides the notion that after 25 they lose some proportion of the eggs, but most women now they're not really having children like that. That's my check. Anyway, let's keep going. Fair use. And we're going to wrap this up, guys. Oh God. 1 second, guys. I don't believe this happened now. All right.
You could test me on it. It's just the way it is. I'm 51.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, you look good for.
Well, what's the point about you being 51?
I don't know.
You look amazing, but you're saying you didn't look better at 25?
No, I'm not saying. We're not talking about me. I don't think that I look better when I was 25. But what I'm saying is that it depends on your skin. It depends on your phenotype. The darker skin you have, the more slowly you age. And you can look.
But is there a race that reverse ages though? Because we're talking about being more attractive when you're 35 than you were when you're 25.
No, I'm saying that it'd be on par. I'm saying that a 25-year-old and a 35-year-old with darker skin would be on par. I actually sent Brian a picture of me 12 years ago. And you could see how I looked 12 years ago. And it's not that different.
When you say that difference, you're saying the little...
Picture. Okay. You see it?
Can you pull it up, Austin, the picture? Granted, I think I took a look at the photo. It's looks a little touched up, but...
yeah, but that was me when I was like 30 something. I would say I look better now, actually.
Erroneous! Erroneous!
I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Not sure about the truth.
Yeah.
You look better there.
I think you look pretty
better there.
now.
We don't have to.
Okay, she can still look pretty now, but I mean, we're doing a comparison
Yeah.
here.
You
So.
look good for 51. Very good for 51.
Yes.
But there,
You're stunning, but
different.
come on.
Yeah, I don't. Like I said, it's what I say still stands. Science backs it up.
Okay. All right. We're going to get into some of the pre-show notes here finally. So let's see here. Where do we begin? Why don't we go back to Eva? Did I say it right? Eva,
You can say
Eva.
whatever you want. People call me all.
Okay.
All
We talked about
pronunciations.
this last show with different pronunciations, gets people in trouble. Let's see.
All right. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to fast forward to the election part, which this is a very important one. And I'm going to see what part of this is. We're going to start the 19th.
Not
we find that
isn't it? Like,
But you want to do a disservice to your own party that you claim you are?
I think it's a disservice to elect Trump.
Because of the
She has a
January
right to.
6th.
She has a right
I
to
find it.
who she wants to
This
vote
will
for.
be the last
I mean,
one,
she's
guys.
an adult.
Everyone
It's
has a right.
bro,
Like,
it's
why are you
like-
guys getting?
We got this one's an important one.
Followers too.
How?
By
Oh, boy.
tweeting it.
When did he tweet to storm the Capitol?
He tweeted it. You can.
Oh no, that's not it.
There's like distinctions that you
to talking about what our children are eating, what's going on in big pharma, what's going on in our health.
Hold on, stand by, guys. I gotta find the clip. Cause this one right here, it got this Kristen trigger, and I have something to say about this. Let's see. Let me find it. Okay. I think it's on this. Oh no, let me go further down. You know what I'm gonna do? Yeah, I'm gonna find it. She's gonna go into her thing about interracial dating. So this will be the last one, and I might pick this up another time. What's the timestamp of it? Interracial dating. Where is it? Okay, found it. So this is the last one. This is dealing with the interracial dating part, and she'll explain more to these people. All right.
How long did you date
have
for?
a date. It's about 6 months, 7 months.
And were you like dating as in exclusively dating, or
Yeah.
just catching?
I will.
Okay. Well, except your past of sucking dick on camera.
I don't
That's-
have a past of that.
Okay, all right. I mean, there's a video of it. You deny it, whatever. So back to my notes, I guess. I need to try to get through the notes here because there's a lot. So why don't we go to who first? Crystalline, creator of the Pink Pill, self-improvement for Black women.
That's me.
You're in a relationship leading to marriage. There was tell us briefly. There's a old guy who offered you $7,500 on your first date. What's the story there?
Yeah, first date, older gentleman. I told him that I wanted to launch a business, a body care line, and he really wanted to date me, and he said, "That's a mitzvah. I will help you." And
she didn't really go into detail. The man that she's talking about is an African man. I'm not sure what part of Africa he's from. I hope he's not Nigerian, but that's another story. But let's listen more.
wrote me a check, deposited in he deposited in my bank account. And if, yeah, that might be a little sketch, maybe, but I took the money, yes.
It is sketchy, but nothing is given without anything. You got to give some to get some, unfortunately. Oh, if people did not know about the body, I mean, I heard that was floating around that she had her body done, like her chest done and stuff, which I would not be surprised because, let's be honest, if you are a woman or any person living in the West Coast, it is known fact that the competition is stiff. So going under a knife is a necessity if you're a West Coast person, especially a Black woman. And a lot of Black women, unfortunately, have been going under a knife lately for some time now. And I did not really want to believe it, but I've noticed for the last over a decade now. And it's getting ridiculous because if you're a Black person, generally a Black woman, you have everything well equipped that I guess the creation has gave you. Only thing your focus is to maintain it. And I think a lot of sisters nowadays are very lazy at maintaining the simple forms of their body. But that's what I just discovered. But that's just me. But let's listen more into her story. Fair use. She going into more detail. Well, somewhat detail.
And I'm very grateful for it, and we're still friends, and I made good on the money.
Mm-hmm. What was the strings that were attached to the money?
We dated.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like we didn't
How
date.
long did
we
you
didn't
date
have
for?
a date. It's about 6 months, 7 months.
And were you like dating as in exclusively dating, or
Yeah.
just catching up here and there?
Exclusively dating.
So it wasn't like a down payment for
No.
a few overnighters?
No. Mm-mm. We were together.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You said you wanted to touch on the ridiculous gender wars happening in dating and relationships. You authored a book about interracial dating. Is that the Swirl book or whatever?
Yeah, that I gave you.
From a Black woman's perspective. It was very sticky, by the way. I don't know why that was.
Yeah, I think it was
There's
something in my
lotion.
suitcase.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's all good. It might be interesting to discuss.
And what was in your suitcase that we might ask? 'Cause if it's sticky, were you doing some? Did I get that soundbite? Hold on. I think I got that soundbite. I think I do. Hold on, guys. I got that soundbite. I got you. Do you think it was? Yeah. Where is it? Could it be something? Wait, where, do I have it? Might not have it. I'm trying to find it quickly. Do you think it was on? Where is it? Damn. You got me. Wait, hold on. Nope, I don't got it. It might be something that has to deal with something with the P and with hub by any chance. I'm just saying. Fairies.
So the book is called Swirling,
like the ice cream cone.
And you're dating a white man, is that?
Yes.
And so what's the book, like plot synopsis, what's it about?
It was written back in 2012, and Black women have the lowest marriage rates, the highest divorce rates.
Mm-hmm.
We outnumber Black men by the millions, and at the time, Black women were 42% single, and everybody was kind of, what are we going to do? 42% of Black women are single. And I said, I just got married. I was a writer and very much wanted to write a book. And what better thing than my own experience? Other friends of mine, women, had said, girl, how did you do that? How did you? Because it was just, in the early 2000s, it was seen as something that just wasn't done. A lot of Black women.
Interracial dating?
From Black women, interracial.
Oh, like dating white guys?
Yeah,
okay,
it just was a lot of stigma. There's a lot of
fair.
social consequences that went along with it. And so I came out and said, hey, date the best man for the job.
Does it work vice versa, though?
Absolutely.
Like Black men dating?
Oh, they do
white
it. They do
women?
it twice as much.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't need.
But she said as a vice versa, and you said absolutely. You said date twice as much. That's not really the answer that is asked. Is it okay? The answer to a lot of Black women is really no. And the reason why it's not because you date twice is because you as a man, it is more easy on you to get any woman actually now in America. That's if you really want. It's just Black women, it's very difficult for them to get the non-Black man unless it's something they will and give up and hope that by giving up, offering their private parts, their box, they are going to get in return a relationship or even that leads to marriage. And obviously non-Black men are not interested in marrying Black women like that. Regardless what they tell you of the numbers. We've been in America for centuries. Loving versus Virginia has been struck down for the past, now almost 57 years. And what has the outcome came after that? The marriage for Black women and non-Black men has not really superly increased like that. Even to the sons of white, Asian, etc. Still, they will not sit and say, I'm going to look for a Black as a mate first before anything else. No, they're going to deal with their own. And you are probably the last or the what they call the sloppy, or really just the bottom seconds. All right, let's keep on. Fairies. And we're going to wrap this up.
To be told.
And then what about white women dating any other races?
Honey, go with God. Whoever you want to date. Yeah, everybody date who they want to date.
Yeah, and then you said that you're one of the rare people who actually went to charm school. You have an argument that women should pick that up again.
Yes. I do think that there has been something lost in terms of the way we communicate with each other, the way that we dress, the way that we speak to people, the respect that we give to people seems to be lost. So yeah, I definitely do think that. Like last week, there was a girl on your show, and she was sitting in the top, and she just like went up to go to the bathroom, and I could see everything. I'm like, girl, do you know how to do this? See?
Careful on camera there, Austin.
Do that. You know what I mean? And so, yeah.
Yes, careful, Austin. We don't want to see the box. Unfortunately. Fairies.
I think we could learn, there's things that we can learn. Be more civil.
Yeah, not
more civil.
Are you
Like,
just
what's
talking
wrong
about
with
like
that?
etiquette and
Yes, etiquette is what you do, protocol is when you do it. And I think that there's a lot of confusion about what you do and when you do it.
All right. You said these are disagreements. I do think that the show doesn't always give a good representation of single women dating. A seeming annoyance with women. I take issue with some of the regressive stances the men take about women's agency in society. What are some of those?
Not necessarily you, Brian. I was hoping Andrew would be here. My main beef was the idea that women shouldn't be allowed to vote. I mean, that's
not my position.
Yeah, we're not gonna know about that. I'm gonna say that for another time. Let me put the link. I doubt people want to come up. Women that should be allowed to vote. I'm gonna hold those remarks. If I do a follow-up, you might know. Anyone want to come up? Y'all coming up. And for wrapping up in conclusion of all this, for those that don't know, that she did say some things about Kevin, high value, etc. That was explained earlier in this broadcast. If you tune into it, if you go roughly in the hour mark or close to the hour mark of this, you'll catch what she has said and what I've laid out, and what, as Kevin said out his mouth, of what is a high value man. She is no. She has no regards. Actually, she's not in authority to really speak about what is high and what is low value, because we could look at the outcomes of her life. I mean, think about, she really trolls black men constantly, not only on social media, but other avenues to try to condition, or not condition, sorry, let me use that word, not condition, but to promote certain things that most black women, unfortunately, they could fight all they want, but do they really qualify and are they able to get it? That's another question, which most majority of them cannot. It's like always, it's like chasing a unicorn. And we all know how unicorns are played out. Like, I think Uncle Dave said best about the unicorn effect, So other than that, she has her own opinions. And one thing I want black women to really stop doing, and this is just me, sometimes I see you're looking for a man of character. You don't do that, baby. Most dudes you're screwing don't got no character. Hell, some of them might not even got no money, but you deal with them anyway. So stop it. If a man had everything that you asked for, you're gonna still complain about that. You're really, as I look at, are not really capable of satisfying. So any problems mentally you have, or any wherever issue you have that's going in your life, you have to go seek the professional help. That's how I look at it. That's my only really, if I'd be honest, of any advice, that would be the best. Other than that, thank y'all for watching today's stream. If you would want me to do a follow-up, leave a comment in the comment section of this, or just leave any comment. I'll read it abruptly. And like always, the links to follow me are below. Follow me on Twitter at CashRain7. Add me as a friend on Facebook, Eric Rain. Also, join my Discourse service. And follow me on Rumble, CRain23 on Rumble. And what else? Oh, and last but not least, become a member of the Chaos Rain Show as well. There are going to be some, videos on the membership. So, become a member now to be able to watch those videos. On that, that's all the listings. And that's all for me. Thank you for watching, and thank you for listening. And until next time, Oh, and please always subscribe to the Chaos Range channel as well as you give a like to this video. Like always, let Chaos Reign.